going to be awesome stuff. So we are going to get this thing shared live on a freaking tube. I wish you guys well this beautiful day. It is a nice and wonderful 6th day of the week. I want everybody to like and share this everywhere. I'm going to get everything popping and cracking. It's so amazing to see you guys this morning. For those of you who know and understand, I am in a zone today. I woke up in the middle of the night to some bull, and I'm up now since 12 o'clock last night. And it's good that the bull happened, though, because I seen some stuff that was kind of shady in my mind. And I'm used to it. You know, when you fight and you put your life on the line for everything and everybody else, what ends up happening is a lot of times you're not appreciated. People don't give a freak about you. And I'm used to that. That's my life. That is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I take up my cross and I walk in the way that I have to walk. And when you are doing things that are big and God is taking you to the next level, what ends up happening is you find yourself having to remove yourself from a lot of people. The reason is because when God is trying to take you to the high place, let me know if you guys can hear me well. What's up, Frank? What's up, Missy? What's up, Mama? What's up, Clone Trooper? What's up, Tony? What's up, Phyllis? What's up, Heavy? What's up, Affies? What's up, Kilroy, Mac Bay, Barbara, John, El Apple Dumpling, Doc Sexy? What's up? What's up, Joseph, Michael? Everybody, please share this. Let's get this all over the place. Let's get this party jumping, because today is going to be a powerful day where we're going to freaking lay smoke, and it's going to be unbelievable smoke. Like I said, I'm in a mood right now. I'm in a zone. One thing that my dad will tell you guys about me is that the more that people come at me and the more that people try to attack me, the better I get, right? If you're having a fight with me and you want to see how good I am, just come at me as hard as you can or challenge me. I love it, you know? And so I tell you guys that when you are fighting to bless the people, like I'm fighting for the nation's little guys at the same time while I have to fight for my little guys. I'm fighting to stop you guys from having to get shots in your arms. People are dying from this stuff. I'm stopping you guys from losing your jobs, by God. And these are all things that are on my mind. But in my life, personally, I have very, very, very little comfort. So people wonder at times why I am so sharp. And sometimes I can be very harsh, not mean, but harsh. Like, look, I'm not playing these games. I will not play it. I will not stand it. People wonder why I can be like that. But when you come from a place where, you know, your own family members might turn on you, where people kill each other in the middle of the street all the time, you realize when people do certain things, they don't freaking love you, you know? So when you are in the fight to save the nation, don't be so weak to believe that everybody in the fight is going to love you. Everybody's going to want to care about what happens to you. The honest truth is most people are around you when you learn and gain knowledge and understanding because you can provide something for them. And the very moment that you can no longer provide something for them, they will throw you under the bus. They will hate you in your face and dog you while you're trying to bless them. This happens in all my groups. You get these few people who come, like the woman today who I had to kick out the group. And every time I say something, she tries to attack what I say. So she's in the middle of the group. She works for the government. She wants my help to help her get free from having to have things harm, you know, that can harm her. But everything I say, she tries to use statute to do a sly, passive-aggressive attack. This is how things work in the real world. People will use you to bless them, but hate you at the same time. So this is how I live my life. I have very little comfort. I believe I can count on one hand the number of people who really love me and have fingers left. So I'm telling y'all, I'm real as heck, you know, I'm real as heck. And I don't I don't go to people and beg them for anything. Nothing. There's nobody who supports my life and makes sure that I'm okay. There's nobody in this world who prays for me every day. There's nobody in this world who would die for me. Nobody, right? It doesn't exist. But this is what I have to live every single day. When I put my life on the line over these shots in the arm because I'm out there speaking up in front of everybody and everybody knows me, people want to kill me. When I help people fight to get their kids, y'all seen people make up stuff about me. Some of y'all went on a show and realized a lady was saying stuff to me, talking about she reported me to the FBI who don't go after bad guys. And she was pissed at me, saying all types of things she was making up. Somebody said, "Do you have proof of this?" She said, "I don't have any proof." This is the kind of stuff that happens when you fight against corruption and the deep state. So I live a life where I don't have comfort. I don't depend on nobody to love me. I trust nobody. Okay. So I just want y'all to know how real life is. And when it comes to comfort, I don't know anybody who takes care of me with joy and happiness who's going to be consistent. Nobody. I'm just being real. So I'm in a mood today. And I'm not playing with anybody or anybody's bull because I have a goal to reach. And I have a place that I have to go in order to get to where God wants me to go. And I don't give a freak who it is. You can be with me or without me. I don't give a freak. It's that serious. It's that serious. So I don't go back and forth in life. I don't play roller coaster games. You can roll with me to have success or you can leave. It is all good. I don't care who you are. From the best to the worst, I don't give a freak. My duty is to make sure that the people can see what God has for them. They can be faithful. They can gain strength and wisdom if they want to follow, or they could not. Either way is fine. God never needed 1 billion people to shock the nation. And some of you guys are witness to what it is that we have done. Now, I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. So I don't expect anybody to look out for me. I don't expect nobody to love me. I don't expect nobody to care for me. I don't expect it. I don't need it. It is what it is. When you deal with me, you don't even have to come to me and say, "Hey, Dave, I hope you're having a blessed and nice day. Oh, let's shoot the crap for a couple of seconds and then I get to telling you what I need." You could just say, "Hey, what's up, Dave? I hope you're cool. I'm coming at you respectfully. Let's go ahead and do this, do whatever we got to do," right? Let's go ahead and do what we got to do. Dave, I'm here to ask you for help to do this and do that. This is what I want to do in my life. If you don't like me, you ain't got to fake like you like me. Let's just get to business. So what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to show y'all real life smoke. Because when God gives you a work to do, there's not a lot of people who going to roll with you or going to throw themselves out there until you do it. So the way that it works, anytime you do anything big in life, people who are close to you are going to say, "Look, if you can help me by showing me that you can do all of this and all the danger is gone and I don't have to get into any danger. As soon as you're done, I'm rolling with you, Dave. I'm with you," right? That's how people used to do in business. They build a big old business, take all the risks, make sure everything is working the way that it needs to, and then I'll come in and invest in what you do and take some of your profit after. Listen, I don't need you, right? I don't need you after the fact. There is a fight that is happening in America, and we need to take advantage of the time that we have to destroy corruption. I am not begging people to help us who don't want to deal with corruption. I'm not begging for somebody to have their time spent with us just because your presence makes you feel like you're offering something. Doesn't matter. Don't need it. But when you get to the point that You are ready to fight. You are ready to fight. When you get to the point that you're serious, you're serious. And I'm not one to play a lot of freaking games. I am one who has separated myself from a lot of stuff and a lot of people and punished myself to become the best at what I do. And I realized that no matter how close people are to you, you can't make them go where you want to go. And you should not beg them. Jesus does not beg us and force us to love him. Jesus gives the offer, tells you what benefits you can get. And if you don't want to love Jesus, he walks away. He does not force you to worship him. I'm not going to force you to roll with us. But what I'm going to do is come give PCAPs heavy documentation and well researched and studied information. I woke up to some shady junk this morning. And I'm to the point where I'm now on relentless mode. I don't give a freak. And I'm letting y'all know whenever I get like that, I'm liable to drop anybody at any time. So today, I will not play games on the video. If you come on here as a troll, you're going to be gone so fast. I ain't going to explain myself. I'm just going to kick you off or tell somebody to remove you. Now, what I want to do is deal with very deep and serious issues. I did see a video last night from Vice News where they were interviewing a guy that I know, David Straight. And I respect David Straight. I know David Straight understands a ton in law. And he was talking to this woman who was a news reporter, and it kind of upset me because David Straight knows the laws, and this woman is asking him questions, and he's just explaining to her what's wrong and what's right in common knowledge. But what I understand is these deep state news media people will often not show you the truth. The attorneys will not show you the law. They will not explain things. And they attack parents who come out and say that something was done wrong to them. They call them names. And the issue that hurts me the most is every single time that we come in front of one of these people, I don't even do interviews with these clown media people because they're just trying to set up for the deep state, for corrupt. But anytime I talk to a lawyer or a judge, I say, let's open up the law right now. No emotional stuff, no sovereign citizen talk, none of that bull crap. Let's analyze the freaking law. I want to analyze the law. Let's see who's doing what they should be doing and who's not. I don't want to talk about, did I get harmed in a court case? Are my feelings hurt? Did they take my kids and did I cry? That's punk stuff. I want to talk about the real issues. I want to talk about the facts. I want to deal with the real deal Holyfield stuff that the attorneys and judges ain't talking about out loud. Because what happened to me does not matter. Because if I fight for only me, anybody can say that Dave is doing this for personal reasons. But if I fight for everybody and I show the law as written, nobody can impeach what I'm talking about. And y'all have seen judges, attorneys, and different people come from around the country trying to talk their junk and get destroyed. So what I want to do today is let you guys hear a little bit about people talking their junk. I'm going to pray real quick. I want to let you see people talking their junk as attorneys and people who work with them. I let y'all hear this before, but I want to let you hear it again with some fresh new perception for you guys to understand what's really happening. And then you can take the information that I'm giving you. And when you take the information that I'm giving you, we're going to be able to analyze based on the law and resources from the highest levels of government to see if they agree with me or they agree with these attorneys and these clowns. See, a lot of people would have you guys out here thinking that everything that the legislature puts in law is legit and it can't be questioned because they make law. And the judges who work with them in lower level courts are actually the end all be all, but they're not telling y'all the truth, and they won't bring y'all to stuff in enough in one sitting so that you can understand completely how it is that these things work. And I don't think it's fair. You know, there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, but if you won't, Jonah Bey always told me, if you can prove anything, David, prove it. What can be proven must be proven. This dude has more victories than most people in the world. The problem is that people are learning knowledge and not taking time to show people where to find it. So people will talk junk about me. I will open up the law. I will open up the law and show exactly what it is that I'm doing. I'll open up the law and show exactly where I got it from. I will open up the government officials at higher levels telling you that everything these lower level courts are doing is a bunch of bull and fraud. The whole statutory system is fraud. Now, people will say, no, David, there's nowhere that it would say that. And people will run and go get low-level dumb attorneys who get their back smacked off of them when any parent has the heart to go to Supreme Courts. And you have a legitimate Supreme Court. But I'm not going to just say this to y'all. I'm going to spend a good amount of time out of my day-to-day. I would love to be working on my engine. I would love to be driving my hot rod this weekend. I won't. I'm going to be spending time all throughout this last night focusing on bringing y'all scholarly evidence and then busting my butt to teach y'all today. That's what I'm going to do. So I pray that you guys look at this with your full attention. The first thing I'm going to do is show you guys what the attorney had to say who dealt with me the other day. And then I'm going to take y'all to a level of knowledge that you have never seen before. You don't need help changing the legislature, Candace. You really don't need that. I'll just tell you. See, everybody's running to the Supreme Court and lowering themselves to a jurisdiction that's below them. We need to be going to them by remonstrance, address, notice, and showing them that we all know that they're breaking the law, and then give evidence. And you don't have to worry about submitting yourself to these dumb cases that take years. That's really what it is. I'm going to show y'all today a case from 2018. People have been suffering trying to get their kids for all this time, finally end up at the Supreme Court in a familiar state. And then the judge says, y'all can't do that to these parents. Now go all the way back to the lower court and figure it out. So now they got to waste more of their years dealing with a clown show. Guys, I'm letting y'all know we got to stop playing these games. That's right. They'll slow walk until your kids get old. Stop playing these games. First thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go to this video on YouTube. Let me get it set up for you guys. And then I'm going to let you guys hear this clown say some dirty junk. And then I'm going to go back and blow his back out in front of y'all. And I'm going to use some powerful stuff that you guys can see yourself. Let me share. Okay, I want you guys to hear this once again. I know y'all heard it already, but I'm gonna give y'all a fresh new spin on this and blow his back completely out, drag it across the street, and bring it back. Watch. Be a little bit more clear. The common law was made from the Bible, sir. With the law. Now notice I'm telling him the common law came from the Bible. He didn't understand the common law. Now let's watch this. Oh, I didn't even do my prayer yet. Hold on one second. Hold on. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for your love and mercy. I want to thank you for your blessings. I want to thank you for caring for us, Father. I want to thank you for giving us knowledge and wisdom. Father, I want to thank you for opportunities where people do wickedly against us, Father, and evil for our bad, and you turn it for our good. Thank you, Father, for letting me wake up in the middle of the night, Father, and deal with foolishness so that I can stop and hear what it is that you had me to hear and see the scholarly education that you had for me. Father, I thank you so much for giving me the time to be able to go through these things and study them. We come praying, Father, that you allow me to be able to speak these things in a way that could be understood by the people, and that, Father, we will learn and understand, that people will gain massive amounts of knowledge, be able to see the vision plain and clearly, and be able to take action and run with it. Father, we ask that you knock down this wickedness and corruption, Father, and show the people today that they don't have to fear these wicked men sitting in office, Father. We thank you for this. And we just ask that you continue to bless us and keep us. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. My bad. All right. Let's go.
You don't know
No. No.
You're drunk.
Are you an idiot?
that? You're drunk.
Are you fucking... Did you just actually say that?
Look it up right now.
Oh my god.
Look it up and see if common law came from the Bible. Look it up.
Are you fucking serious?
Look it up.
Now, guys, notice the guy who's cursing is an attorney. He says the common law doesn't come from the Bible, even though I proved that the common law came from the Bible on my last video, and I showed the resources from scholarly individuals, judges, and others who showed that common law came from the Bible and from the Christian religion. So notice how intensely this guy is cursing. He is a dual license, in his words, in New Jersey and New York. He calls himself a licensed attorney. He was in the CPS or family law courts using Title 42, which I proved they are non-positive laws. They never passed. And you guys see me destroy this guy, but he says, I don't know what goes on in other states. I only deal in my state. So today I'm going to show his state and how he lied to y'all about what the courts can do and the difference between administrative courts and judicial courts. Notice that I quote this guy. We had about a 4 or 5 hour talk all together, and I quoted his words back to him. He said during the show, he realized I knew everything he said. So let's pay close attention.
The common law, as we understand it in the United States, came from England.
Sean McMillan, the #1 CPS attorney, blowing y'all back out.
Oh my God.
Ask him. Ask Sean McMillan.
Well,
who,
all right.
Who get millions and millions of dollars from y'all because y'all don't know the law. He knows me very well. Ask him.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay.
England?
No, I did. Because that's where it actually came from, the common law.
No, that's English.
Now, guys, I want y'all to notice the guy Michael in the bottom corner is running the show. He's one of my haters who doesn't know the law. When you see the screen pause and unpause is clicking, Michael is hiding certain things. He chopped up the video to make sure that people didn't know what really happened. I proved yesterday, if you want to check out my video, that common law came from the Bible, exactly where we can see all the resources of how it happened. Everybody who saw that video was broken down like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you ran over him with a Mack truck of law. I can't believe he said all this stuff and you showed that he doesn't know anything he's talking about. So let's keep watching.
Common law, not common law. Big difference.
Okay. That's where we have common law here.
Look to the right.
Since America came from England, therefore we have incorporated English common law, not your farcical made-up common law that you pulled out of your ass.
Do we have a king?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
What?
Do we have a king like England?
No. But did we adopt the common law of England when the Constitution was formulated? Yes, it was.
We took the common law of England.
Yes.
We don't have a king, sir.
So?
We don't have a king.
And?
So we didn't take the common law of England.
The common law is not contingent upon there being a king.
Is different.
The common law of England is not contingent upon whether or not a king is there, you dumbass. Are you fucking serious?
Hey, that's awesome. And I want to thank you, D. Kojak, for saying you think my mother dropped me on my head. We'll see in a second when I drop that smoke on y'all with the real law. So I want everybody to see what happens. See, these trolls come from Michael's page and they want to talk trash and they want to say stuff like, David don't know what he's talking about. David's a dummy. He's ignorant. He's stupid. Well, we'll freaking see what the freak is really up, because I don't play these games with these little trolls. I let them say what they want to say. I let them clown me. And then I blow their back completely out by God. Right? So I like the David approach. Knock your anus down with a sling with one little pebble, put you on your back and chop your head off with your own sword. And that's what I'm about to do. So, look, guys, sword in the Bible, when the Bible talks about God's word, it is called a sword. A sword can cut and separate between truth and fiction, right? A sword can pierce your heart. A sword can be used to defend. I let these people say what they want to say. The Bible calls the word of God a sword. I let them get their sword out. And then I open up the real sword and blow their back out. So let's have this fun and let them laugh and talk junk. But watch this, y'all.
They teach you. That's what they teach you in law school, man.
What's the king?
Oh my God! Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have the
They
fucking
teach you the
book.
opposite. They teach you the opposite.
and Queen's bench, sir. Is that not from England?
Get the book for that.
American Legal Heritage. There we go. This is a book I read my second year, and it details the history of American common law.
Uh-oh.
And how it was derived from England.
Uh-oh.
And how it still exists to today.
Comes from England.
Because Dave thinks that I'm part of this secret group of lawyers that are like trying to fight back against his information campaign.
Guys, I just went ahead and cut all the good parts together, right? Because it was like a 5-hour video.
Now he's saying good
and
parts.
I
He don't
made it
show.
into one video, right?
Hold on, guys. He doesn't show where I blow this guy's back out, make him tell that he doesn't know the law. So understand that Michael is a little sneaky, little funny guy, because Michael knows that it was a multiple hour video, but he didn't put anything in there that showed where the guy's saying, I don't know the law. I don't know that. Oh, wait, I stand corrected, David. Okay, I didn't know. I thought Title 42 passed. I didn't know it didn't pass. So Michael is trying to get views by cutting up stuff that he thinks is going to benefit him and doesn't understand that he just destroyed himself, because the good parts that he thinks I'm wrong on, I'm actually right on. But we're going to look and see.
Shorter one. But these are all the good parts.
Which I think is kind of hilarious.
You don't even know me, homie.
But
sitting in your room and blathering on YouTube,
They're gonna permit
is
you
not-
to practice in their jurisdiction.
sir,
Is meaningless.
Every case, sir, every man or woman who went against government tyranny and won in the Supreme Court, it started with their opinion that the government was wrong. That's how
and
you
then
get to court.
then they went to court, right?
Did you not?
Now, guys, I'm going to pause this here because I'm going to take you guys so we can understand what just happened with the common law first. So we're going to deal with another issue. The other issue is this guy, he's going now and saying about where judgment comes from. A judge is the one who determines what somebody's rights is and all that and all that. Now, I will get to that in a little bit and I'll prove it. But first of all, he's trying to talk about the common law. So what I want to do, guys, first is deal with common law and things derogatory to the common law that would take from the common law. And I'm going to just go to where you guys can see this in the real law. Now, I'm not anybody special, right? I'm nothing. But this guy said that the common law doesn't come from the Bible. So what I'm going to do, guys, American common law, because I said it was different. He said, no, our common law came from England. I said, so we got a king, right? So I'm going to show you guys what this book is. This is a selection of maxims of law. Guys, maxim of law, let me know if y'all can see the screen. Maxims of law are the actual, let me see. It looks like you guys aren't seeing it. Are you guys seeing the screen? Are you guys seeing my screen, a selection of maxims of law? Now, see, guys, a lot of people are going to make fun and say they won and say that they know something that you don't know, and they're going to pat themselves on the back when they are together. Then a man who understands God is going to come back behind him and blow their back out with the truth. The first one who's saying something always looks smart. But when the time comes that they have to deal with real law and real truth, then it's going to get ugly, because if they're not prepared and they don't know exactly what they're talking about, it's going to get heavy. Can you guys see maxims of law up on my screen? Because I don't see it yet. Let me know. We got like there it is. Okay. Now check this out, y'all. We're gonna get deep. So the first thing we're going to do is look and see that this is the Maxims of Law book. It's fundamental principles of law that's already accepted universally, right? With over 1,600 maxims listed under 105 different subject headings being alphabetically arranged by Charles A. Weisman. So guys, this is a scholarly work already done, right? So I'm not going to play the game, guys, where I try to say what I'm going to say out of my own mouth. I'm nothing. I'm just a regular man. I'm just a dumb Negro from the ghetto. But 18C, this guy believes that from the common law, that you could do an administrative case that is not in alignment with the common law, derogatory to the common law. He explained how the legislature can write a statute that says that you could get rid of the common law and a judge would have to follow that. 18C, things derogatory to the common law are not to be drawn into precedent. So a judge cannot bring something that is opposite of common law and bring it in and say that it is okay and make that what he wanted to call judge-made law, which is just an opinion of a judge that they like to call precedents, right? 18G, an affirmative statute, when the legislature writes a statute saying you can't do this or you must do this, an affirmative statute does not take from the common law. So I want you guys to understand that when somebody wants you to believe that somebody writes a statute and it just automatically erases the common law, it's a hoax. It's a trick. Now, I'm going to take y'all to some real PCAPs that's going to break your kneecaps. We're going to go to section 49I of this book because he says the common law doesn't come from the Bible. He says, your God has nothing to do with the common law. You effing dumb, right? That's what he said. Yep, judges don't make law. Hey, and that guy, whatever your name was up earlier, who said I got dropped on my head, take some of this smoke for me, sir. Take some of this smoke for me. 49A. Watch this. Here we go. Where the divinity is insulted, the case is unpardonable. Why are they talking about divinity in a law book? Sir? Why are they talking about divinity, like God, in a law book? Sir? See, they laugh, y'all. It's so cute when they're on there by themselves and they ain't got somebody on there to bring that real smoke to them. When I can't read it because they don't want to read it. So he says God has nothing to do with common law. I'm a Christian, player. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. You'll never learn the law like me because you're not. The Christian religion is a part of the common law. Law 327. The Christian religion. The Christian religion is a part of the common law. The Christian religion is a part of the common law. Michael was on there eating popcorn, instigating, joking with a funny attorney, talking stupid junk, laughing at Dave Jose, who got dropped on his head. But Christianity is a part of the common law, homie. I'm just a dumb Negro from the ghetto. You can laugh all you want. 49I, the Christian religion, you know, those who believe in Christ, God, is a part of the common law. Popcorn boy. Popcorn boy laughing and giggling, Michael. What's so funny now? He thinks common law came from the Bible, you dummy. We are so hilarious laughing together, playing with each other. Like a little gay couple. I got some popcorn. We gonna laugh at Dave. Real funny. Christianity is what common law comes from, player. Let me help you out. Because y'all don't understand what real law is. And this is why I write stuff, and the higher up attorneys and judges understand that I'm blowing their back out and we win. Because dummies like y'all are sitting there with your mouth open because you can't understand how something that you don't understand written into the people of the court, how they can kill a case because they know that you're dumb and you're laughing. And the judge knows these dudes got us by the cojones. That freaking popcorn, bro. That popcorn. Let me help you, sir. Let me help you, sir. I mean, you thought that you really thought that you were smart. It was almost cute. God has nothing to do with the common law. God doesn't do that. Oh, okay, player. Hold on. Let me help you out. 51p. Let me give you some of this act right. The main object of government is the protection and preservation of personal rights, private property, and public liberties, and upholding the law of God. American maxim. You ain't gonna find it. You ain't gonna find it if they don't teach you, little attorney. Upholding the law of God. You say God ain't got nothing to do. It's an American maxim, homie. Why they talking about God? You're not ready for this. 51-0. All power is inherent in the people by decree of God. Who? God. God said man is to have dominion over the birds of the air, the creeping, crawling things on the earth, and the fish and the things in the sea, and everything that passes through the sea. You are not ready for this, young man. Both of y'all. One of y'all is an attorney licensed in 2 states. You must be really smart. Okay, y'all. So I wanted you guys to get a little whiff of that, because what happens is we get these brilliant attorneys and people who wish to clown and make you guys believe that those who understand where common law comes from, if an attorney don't agree with you, or a low-level administrative hearing officer, y'all call it judge sometimes. Big Ricky, what's up? If they don't know this information and don't understand it, they believe you guys are stupid. So let's realize now that there are court cases that can go for years before you get before judges who understand the common law. So you go through administrative hearings. They want you to exhaust all your administrative remedies, go through a hearing, then go through an appeal, then try to take it up to the Supreme Court and all this bull crap. When the first levels are all looking at the administration and not telling you if the administration is following the law or not. They're looking to see if the administration did their procedures the way that they have them lined out. That does not mean they have jurisdiction or power over you. So Artie got pissed at me and he's like, David, you're trying to tell me the whole set of laws in New Jersey or any other state could be wrong? You mean to tell me a whole title could be incorrect? I'm like, dude, if it's made in pursuance to the Constitution and it goes against the Constitution, it could be invalid, period. He also said, David, well, if there's a judicial hearing and an administrative hearing, they're usually separate. I said, sir, can you bring an administrative hearing that's not going by the common law? I mean, I'm sorry, and make it go by the common law? And he's like, I said, with no statutes and codes? I mean, he said, no, you can have courts of record that can hear statutes and codes. I said, sir, that means you'd have to have a common law charge and you'd have to have statutory charges. I said, does the court of record move by the common law? He didn't know at first. I had to show him. Does it move by the common law or statutes or codes? He did not get it. And then I showed him, listen, dude, the legislature cannot write statutes and codes that goes against the law of the people. He did not get it. He thought the legislature can write what they want and the courts can hear what they want because a judge is a judge. So that's what he wishes to discuss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys an article. And we're going to start getting into some heavy PCATs because he's from New Jersey. He's been acting in many cases in his past that had to do with Title 42 and CPS. He admitted it to us. And then he found out Title 42 never passed. And then I blew his back out by showing he didn't know Title 42. When he went on with Michael cut out the part of the video telling where he said Title 42 passed. So this guy was taking actions to legislative tribunals that are not courts. Now notice I'm saying legislative tribunals because the legislature is telling what the court can do. So this dude, he actually believes that just because the legislature writes something is legit. And he didn't realize that the legislature can't write common law, so he did not understand what that meant. So Michael agreed with him, not understanding what that meant. Then he tried to give an argument that David Straight, not what I said. But I'm going to take you guys into some high-level firepower like you've never seen before in your freaking life. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. This is something called the New Jersey Monitor, and it is news reporting of government things. They're like a watchdog 501c3 in New Jersey. And it says, in brief, New Jersey Supreme Court rules. New Jersey Supreme Court rules. Parents cannot be forced to prove innocence in child abuse cases. Now, guys, this was September 27, 2021. I think everybody on this video knows people who have had their kids taken by CPS. And what CPS does is say, we have some concerns and never prove that anything was wrong. And then they say, okay, now we need you to alleviate the issue, which they never proved, and say, you got to do all these services that they get paid for, and say, you got to do these services in order to get your kids back. If you don't do the services, we're not going to give you your kids back. But nobody ever proved that the parents did wrong by the common law. So they try to shift the burden of proof on parents. So y'all notice when when people come on my show who have kids lost, they try to explain to me that they didn't do anything wrong. I say, listen, I don't need you to explain to me you didn't do anything wrong because you're not in prison. You're right here in front of my face talking, and they know you didn't do wrong. And the only reason they might arrest you now is because they don't want you to tell, because they're doing wrong. But notice, guys, this is New Jersey Supreme Court, which has to act as a court of record. The New Jersey Supreme Court is going to use the rule of law and some funny words, because this gentleman said that there's no more common law crimes in New Jersey, and you can't bring forth common law crimes. So we realize we're not in a criminal court. And we have parents who have had their kids taken, but the problem is nobody ever proved that there was wrong done. So let's see what this article says. Wait. Now I want y'all to notice this, because I asked Artie, you telling me y'all can take parents through years of issues and cases where you never proved they did wrong using an administrative statute that never passed, or a state statute that is not constitutional and it's just cool to you? He said, well, that's what attorneys are for. Yes. All you got to do is give them a hearing. Well, let's see what the higher level judges are now saying. The decision stems from a 2018 case, guys. How many years ago? Involving an apparently abused infant, whose parents were stripped of custody after trial. They didn't go to trial, y'all. They went to a legislative tribunal. That was a lie. The New Jersey Supreme Court unanimously ruled Monday, family courts cannot require parents affirmatively prove they did not abuse their children. See, have y'all noticed when these clowns come on my show, they're like, David, can you prove to us you did not do this? All these 5 different accusations that were made against you, can you prove that you did not? I'm like, what the freak are you talking about? Do you not understand how freaking backwards that is? You bring documentation showing where I did something wrong, please. Oh, you cannot do it. Okay. Candy C, I want you to wait. You can get with Melly Mel. I want to know who you are before you're added to a group, because we've had some trolls come. Nothing personal. I just want to make sure I know who's being added into the group. Now watch this, y'all. The decision stems from a 2018 case involving an apparently, so it looks like it, abused infant whose parents were stripped of custody after trial. They didn't go to trial, y'all. They're lying. And I want y'all to notice something. This comes from an opinion that was not the actual opinion of the court. The clerk of courts wrote it for them to give to the news so it could be easy to read. So it's not the actual opinion. The clerk of court edited it a little bit. Now, none of the party custody after trial and appellate judges asked they prove they did not abuse their son. So the dumb appellate level judges, y'all, are wasting more of your years with your kids, having you try to prove you didn't do something. You cannot prove a negative. It's impossible. It's impossible. The burden of proof is on the one who made the complaint. Watch this. None of the parties are identified by full names in this decision. A physician found the infant was bruised. So they went to a hospital. Physician said, oh, it looked like he's bruised. He got some brain issues, had damage to connective tissue in his neck, had blood spillage in his brain, injuries that suggest shaken baby syndrome, which they know there's other stuff that caused that. They just don't like to tell people, and which the doctor said were unexplained by the bout of bacterial meningitis that brought him to the hospital. A separate physician called by the defense testified those injuries and others were indicative of past abuse, though a doctor called by the defendant said the life-threatening infection and the seizures it caused could explain most of the injuries. So now the CPS has their own doctors that they work with to get parents and say that they did wrong in their private courts. The parents go out and get other doctors who say, no, that's not really what I think happened. You can actually see that this can do this. So now CPS has no proof that they injured the child. That doesn't stop them from taking the kid, have you go all the way to the appeals court, still want to take the kid, and they're getting paid the whole time, and nobody talks about the elephant in the room. But let's watch. The trial court found that now they call it a child court, but y'all got to understand that legislative tribunals, you're going to notice that a legislative tribunal does not move by the common law, and the courts they're going to prove it themselves. The legislative tribunals are not common law entities because they would have the authority of a court that moves under the common law. So let's see what the heck happened here, y'all. Was David Jose telling y'all the truth, or was this attorney full of bull? The burden of evidence then shifted to the parents. Now notice, guys, how did the burden of evidence, which is not a real life being, just shift to somebody else? What happened was bad attorneys and bad judges shifted the responsibility unlawfully in their private court that is not it's a legislative tribunal and not a court of record, not moving by the common law. What happened was they shifted the blame, as I showed you guys in the Pima County document, where they say we're going to purposely use irrelevant facts and take the kids from parents, even though we know it's unlawful. It says the burden of evidence then shifted to the parents who were tasked with proving they did not allow their kid to get injured and they did not inflict the injury themselves. So how do you prove that? Neither testified and both were found responsible for the alleged abuse and neglect, though the court never identified specifically what caused the injuries. Now notice these people like, I'm not testifying in your dumb court. Why would I do that? You're lying. There's nobody swearing. We'll just take it all the way up to the highest courts. So when people look at me, I said, I'm withdrawing from this dumb court. I'm not sitting here playing y'all game where I got to try to defend myself and none of y'all will even swear. That's dumb. So watch what happens. Neither testified and both were found responsible. So you're in something that's not a criminal court, but they're with no jury, and they're trying to say you're responsible for something just with a couple of people who make money off the kids. Now watch this. For the alleged abuse and neglect, though the court never identified specifically who caused the injuries. So notice, guys, in a court of record, you're going to find who broke the law, who did something, who hurt somebody. Now notice what happens is somebody removed KK Donnie completely from the chat. An appellate panel upheld the decision. So now they took the kids and said the parents had to prove it. Now an appellate panel allowed them to continue to keep these people's kids. So now two levels of legislative tribunals are destroying these parents' rights, but they'll go in front of people and tell that you as a parent broke the law when nobody proved it. Nobody swore it, nothing. But this is how they get down. So y'all got to realize this. Remove KK Donnie completely from this place. And I don't give a freak if we like you or not. I'm not going to deal with no foolish stuff. I already told y'all. So if you want to come here and troll, I don't care if I love you. I don't care if I know you. I don't care if you're my best friend. Your anus is gone. Straight like that. An appellate panel upheld the decision, but the High Court found previous judges presiding over the case erred. See, Artie and the other clown, Michael, and all these attorneys want to act like the judges are the one who tell what's right and wrong. They want to act like the judges, KK Donnie, it seems like you got a lot to say that keep getting hidden. You lucky I can't hit on your name because you'll be completely gone. But guys, these people always go around talking like attorneys have the end all be all because they're attorneys. But notice all the attorneys in the original case did not know the law enough to make this right and let these people be without their kids since 2018. The next level court played games and didn't fix stuff without their kids. Crazy. But then they get up to the Supreme Court, and now, watch this. An appellate panel upheld the decision, but the High Court found previous judges presiding over the case erred in extending the burden shifting principle to the parents. So, guys, the courts made mistakes and did wrong and did not follow the law. And it was not until they get to the courts that move and understand common law that they realized they were doing wrong. Now, let me prove to y'all what I'm talking about, since Dum didn't know anything about common law. Watch this. Though common law allows for such a shift in certain civil cases, so the common law, y'all remember, is not made by, I meant to say the 6th day because tomorrow the Sunday is the first day. So I made a mistake. Usually I say the first day of the week for Sunday, and Saturday is the 6th day. Saturday is also not the only Sabbath. There was also, in the days of unleavened bread, 2 days of rest. So let's look. Though common law allows, so if you're in a court of record who moves by the common law, you get to use the things that are in common law. But now the High Court in New Jersey says, hey, you can't bring common law into this legislative statute court. Watch this. Though common law allows for such a shift in certain civil cases, the Supreme Court found Monday the judiciary lacks the authority. See, if the judiciary is a court of record, it can move by common law by itself. But these are legislative tribunals that are ordered to do what they do by Title IX in the statute that governs the state's family and juvenile courts. Watch this. Judiciary lacks the authority to extend that principle to Title IX, the statute governing the state's family court. So realize this attorney, I told him that CPS courts, child support courts, and the others are only legislative tribunals that don't have the power of courts of record. Therefore, it can't move by the common law and do everything that the common law does, because the judiciary, when it's working in Title IX, is directed by the legislature as a legislative tribunal. I hope y'all see this. So watch this. The law places the burden of proof on the Division of Child Protection and Permanency. The decision says, and the court cannot shift that burden elsewhere because the law was crafted by the legislature, who doesn't make common law, and the judiciary has no authority to rewrite the law. So what they're saying is, guys, the legislature got to the point where they were dealing with, sorry guys, I got to fly from outside, I got the door open. They are dealing with a situation where in legislative tribunals, they create something called a CPS to serve needy people and children, right? They create a Social Security Act to help elderly people. They did not create a system for you to start stealing people's kids so you have more to help. Because what's happening is when they administer help to the kids, they get administrative costs back, the Fed and the state and the municipalities. So the state has to write statute to tell what the CPS entity could do, but the state can't write common law. So when the state gives the instruction for what that court can do, they cannot make it a court of record. Because if you make it a court of record, now the parents have to have a trial by jury. Everything has to be fair. You can bring your witnesses. You can go against the person who's saying something against you, and somebody got to swear you did wrong. So in CPS court, nobody's swearing. So the whole time that these people had their kids gone since 2018, nobody would swear by an affidavit. You guys say that, see that I say, let me know if y'all understanding this, if this making sense. So y'all notice that people who normally deal with me, who are trolls and haters and agents, they say, David, we heard you did this, we heard you did that. I say, swear to it. Call the person on the CPS case and tell them to swear to it. Tell anybody in the land to swear that all this dumb garbage was true. I dare you. Please do it. I sent them affidavits and begged them to please respond by affidavit and swear that I did anything wrong ever. I dare you. And they won't do it. The reason they won't do it is because they realize that they have no jurisdiction under the common law. And if they swear, they get to go to prison if they get found out. So this is what's really happening. And the guy from New Jersey who's been working in CPS cases with Michael didn't know about the court of record, didn't understand the common law, and didn't know how I was trapping him and where we were going. So he believes that common law doesn't come from the Bible. He believes that a legislature can just write statute to take people's rights and they can do whatever they want to do because they're the legislature. And the courts just proved you cannot be sitting in some legislative tribunal, use something that's not in this type of court to take something from somebody. You better fix it. Y'all see how this is going? The super smart attorney from New Jersey did not know this, and the case just happened in his state in September 2021. So look at the power that God has in showing the corruption of these people. I'm going to see if I can go back to the video, play a little bit more of what happened, maybe fast forward a little bit so you guys can get the gist, but let's see. Okay, let's see if we can get some of this PCAPs. But you out of your league, player. Yes, they did still good. To understand, you're lazy. And ate popcorn and laughed about it and made jokes. I'm playing the video that I did, so the Bible, this is what's going on. True. But I'm just a small fry. You like them PCAPs though, don't you? Hey, y'all, that's them PCAPs that break kneecaps. You let a nobody, nothing, dumb Negro. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, guys, so you guys can see more of what this guy said. I showed another document that was a scholarly journal article showing that common law came from the Bible. And I want to get back and let these guys say a little bit more so y'all can see him lie and try to change what he said. He literally was trying to cover for this gentleman and erase the mistakes this guy made. So I want y'all to see this because a lot of times you guys put weight on what these guys say. Give me your law opinions and you want to debate me on the law, then we'll see what's up. If you really think you can do that. Because here's one thing, for clowns who want to give their opinion on my platforms, I don't really waste my time with clowns who want to use my platform because they don't have one. Because really, if somebody is about that life with law and all that stuff already, everybody would know you already. You would have a platform. So if you don't have a platform, I don't give a freak. I'll be happy to have these little trolls. They need my fire smoke. I'm making comments about how you control seconds, literally. I'll say for the rest of the day. Anyway, guys, what we're going to do is association. You can associate with who you will or your money. Stuff you it. People, we know it. He's not in jail. Even though I'm from the hood, I'm ghetto, Ruby. You got to understand that I use Ebonics, baby. I'm trying to locate the other part that these guys are talking on the video. This should be it right here. This video. But I got to remember exactly what this dude said too. So, well, I never watched his video, but it was sent to me and I have to remember what he just said.
Thank you for proving my point.
Okay, pay close attention, y'all.
No, thank you.
A citizen is one of the people.
One of the people.
A citizen is one of the people.
one of the people? Am I one of the people? Yes or no?
A citizen.
Now, guys, notice, I hope y'all seeing this. He's saying a citizen is one of the people. Can y'all see my screen? He's literally yelling, a citizen is one of the people. And he doesn't know that one of the people is different than your status as a citizen. He has no idea. And I'm letting him make the error because I just want to get to the point where he shows everybody that he won't say that I'm one of the people. Because that's another thing that they do. They can't deal with the fact that I'm one of the people, because what happens is, are y'all seeing my screen? Yeah. So they can't deal with the fact that I'm one of the people. I'm gonna back it up a couple of seconds. They can't deal with the fact that I'm one of the people because it separates between that jurisdiction of the corporate entity and the people who created it, who have a power to change it at will. So let's watch. Look.
That's
And then they went to court, right?
Did you not just understand that?
Thank you. Thank you for proving my point.
No, thank
A
you.
citizen is one of the
Am I
people.
one of the people?
A citizen is one of the people.
One of the people. Am I one of the people? Yes or no?
A citizen is one of the people, so you're a citizen.
Okay,
True.
so if I'm one of the people,
Attention. If y'all just heard, I'm gonna rewind it. Michael Cadena said, true, a citizen is one of the people. This is what happens when you're ignorant, dumb, and you don't read for yourself. A citizen is your status in regards to the civil family that was created, like the state or county. One of the people is free and independent, and I prove that to y'all. If y'all remind me, I'll show y'all. So this idiot just said, a citizen is one of the people. A citizen is one of the people. And I just want him to deal with people so I can blow his back out. But Michael, you're going to hear his voice say, true. So Michael's dumb anus thinks that a citizen is one of the people, y'all. Now watch what happens, because I'm going to show y'all some smoke.
No, thank
A
you.
citizen is one of the
am I
people.
one of the people?
A citizen is one of the people.
One of the people. Am I one of the people? Yes or no?
A citizen is one of the people, so you're a citizen.
Okay,
True.
so if I'm one of the people,
I'm
do I
not-
have a
Which
right
is a
to-
citizen.
Wait. Do I have a right to try my jury if I'm
Sorry.
one of the people?
Is the maximum punishment greater than 6 months?
Now, guys, here's where he just got in trouble. I said, so does one of the people have a right to trial by jury? So guys, what I'll show you guys, if y'all want me to show y'all, let me just show y'all real quick. So I'm going to show y'all how dumb this dude is. He didn't realize that I just caught his anus up so bad, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Arizona Constitution. Now, in your constitutions, when you tell that somebody has a certain thing in the frame of government, a certain right, you're actually showing what the government has to swear to, right? So I said, am I one of the people, right? So when I asked if I'm one of the people, in your bills and declarations of rights, you go down to section 23, right? So he says, is the penalty less than 6 months? What that is, guys, is a permission from the government to have a jury. So a judge is making a decision. If you go back and look at the case, most likely what you're going to find is it was an administrative issue. And the judge said in an administrative issue, if you get a penalty of greater than so much time, then yes, you definitely got to give somebody a jury. But that's not in reference to your position as one of the people, because I'm going to prove to you what the people have a right to do. So let's look. Let me see if, can y'all see my screen? Yeah. So watch this. This is what's for the people in the Declaration of Rights, because we tell what our rights are. Watch this. The right of trial by jury shall remain inviolate. Did it say maybe, or if it's 6 months or not? Now, let me show y'all how simple this is. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Now, greater than 6 months, right? Let me see if my screen is gone. Can y'all hear me? Okay, yes. Okay. So watch this. If it's greater than 6 months, you get a trial by jury. I mean, he said if it's greater than 6 months, you get a trial by jury. Now, let's see if that's what the law says in your state constitution, where the rights of the people are found, right? And here's what it says. You have a right to trial by jury and it shall remain inviolate. And that was period, and it's guaranteed, y'all. Watch. The provisions of this Constitution are mandatory. Now, the people made the law, only the people can take it away, unless by express words they are declared to be otherwise, so the people can change it. So, guys, if the Constitution is mandatory, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Ricky's house because it says it even better. Ricky's house in California, where he runs the show. And this is why they don't want to mess with me asking if you're one of the people or not, because they have to hide that. So let's look at what it says. All free and independent. Independent of what? All people are by nature free and independent. Independent of what? Government. Free as in what? Not a freaking slave. And have inalienable rights. Among these are enjoying and defending life, liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property. So every man has a right to protect their property as one of the people. But as a citizen, they can actually tell if you can have a weapon or not. Big difference. Now, to prove what I'm talking about, you can't just take the stuff that's in the constitutions and say that you don't have to do it. Guaranteed by this, see something, here it is. Rights guaranteed by this Constitution are not dependent upon those guaranteed by the United States Constitution. Guys, do you realize that they're telling that you have a right that is guaranteed to you? And it's an open-ended contract because this declaration of rights may not be construed to impair or deny others retained by the people. You got more rights than what they even say you got in this Constitution. In all criminal cases, the rights of a defendant to equal protection of the laws, to due process of law, to the assistance of counsel, to be personally present with counsel, to a speedy and public trial. How is CPS using private trials if this is guaranteed? Confront witnesses against him or her, to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, to privacy. If you're in the private, they can't mess with you as one of the people, and it is guaranteed. Now, they can write statute in the part of their statutory scheme for citizens or officers of the state or political subdivisions. But the people have a guaranteed right to these things that they're bypassing by saying that you're in a political subdivision. I'm sorry, you're a citizen of a political association. And because you don't know the difference, they try to hide from you that you're one of the people. So now I'm gonna take you back to their video and let them clown a little bit so y'all can see what happens. Y'all didn't see the screen yet, did y'all? He doesn't tell. Sorry, I didn't do this.
All right.
Is the maximum punishment greater than 6 months?
Am I entitled to a trial by jury as one of the people based on the constitutions of the states?
I'm gonna run it back. Can y'all see it now? Here it goes. It's coming up. It's coming up. I'm gonna run it back. Here we go.
Did you not just understand that?
Thank you! Thank you for proving my point!
No, thank you.
A citizen is one of the
Am I
people.
one of the people?
A citizen is one of the people.
One of the people. Am I one of the people? Yes or no?
A citizen is one of the people, so you're a citizen.
Okay,
True.
so if I'm one of the people.
Now, Michael
I'm
said
Which
true.
is a citizen.
Wait.
Notice Michael said true. He keeps saying one of the people is a citizen. He doesn't know any better. But watch this.
All right.
Is the maximum punishment greater than 6 months?
Am I entitled to a trial by jury as one of the people based on the constitutions of the states?
If the maximum punishment is greater than 6 months, yes.
Can you show me where it says that in the state constitution?
Now, notice in the state constitutions with the United States government accepted, guys, in every state, it says these things are mandatory. So if they ever tell you something is mandatory and then somebody else tells you a case said, oh no, if it's greater than 6 months, if you go back and look at the jurisdiction of the case, you're going to find out it's going to connect it to citizenship and not as one of the people. It's not going to be a court of record. It's going to be an administrative hearing. That's why they say, oh, you got to exhaust all your administrative remedies. They're saying that because they're putting you in an administrative hearing rather than giving you process by the common law, what they swore to the people. So they're hiding your status as different from being one of the people and a citizen so that they can destroy you. This is why I say I'm one of the people. So let's watch. Here we go.
Of Arizona, sir?
No, that's Duncan versus Louisiana. That's a Supreme Court decision.
Show me in Arizona
The Constitution.
where it
Duncan
says
versus Louisiana is a U.S. Supreme Court decision.
This guy is gonna lie to y'all all day.
Well, I'm not. I'm just.
Okay, now notice what happened there. So Michael ended the that section and he moved from it. He doesn't want to deal with what's really happening. But what just happened there, guys, is Michael thought that the guy understood what he was talking about. And he allowed this guy to say, you're not allowed to, I'm sorry, they can make you, if you have a case that's 6 months, you get 6 months in jail or less, they don't have to give you a jury. Now, I'll go look up that case and I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen beforehand. What happens beforehand, what's going to happen is I'm going to look up the case and we're going to find out it deals with administrative issues and not judicial. That's going to be the difference. That's the judges and attorneys will do mock trials and fake like something is happening a certain way or get an attorney to write something up for somebody wrong. And when they do it wrong, they won't tell the difference between if this is common law or administrative, judicial or administrative, and then they try to bring that into precedent. I just showed y'all before we watched this, where the maxims of law says you shall not bring into precedent that which is derogatory to the common law. Did I not show that to y'all yet? Now, guys, understand that that was on the other day's video because I'm showing you a screen share. So if you want to go back, you can look and see where you can't bring things from administrative courts and act like it's precedents in the common law, which the attorneys try to do that all the time. Trying to figure out how to close this back. Oh, okay. So do a case, and they got a case is that every man has a right to a jury. I just proved that to y'all. Those things which are derogatory to common law are to be strictly interpreted, right? Let's see, what's the other one? Affirmative. If he's trying to say that there's Supreme Court precedents that you cannot, they cannot let you have a jury when they're trying to take away life, liberty, or property, is actually incorrect. Another thing is they're not showing you guys. He tried to make the argument that a judge gets to make a decision on if something is your right, right? And he's saying, David, but what makes the determination if something is your right or not? He doesn't understand that the judges literally are not making determinations on what are your rights. They're making 65 guys. I think we had a little time where my screen wasn't showing and I thought y'all see the screen now. Okay, here we go now. It's going to be like 10 seconds. There it is. So what we're going to do is go to this. Okay, here we go. So now, guys, I'm gonna give y'all some PCAPs real quick. So when I read this to you, it's going to tell you that if somebody's not acting as a judge in a hearing, there is no order, there is no judicial anything. So when you're in a CPS court and they're withholding your kids from you for all these years, they're literally breaking the law because they never had jurisdiction over you to do what they're doing. They're bypassing the law with attorneys, taking your kids, holding them from you. There was no jury that said you were not capable of having your kids. So watch this. It's going to pop up in a second. We got a 10-second delay. Please forgive me, y'all. Okay, here we go. At 65C, an action of a judge which relates not to his office is of no force. A judicial act before one not a judge is void. So all this CPS stuff where they are saying that they're doing an act and they're making an order for your kids or for your money, and is not a judge in the room, they're just a hearing officer. They cannot make precedents out of that. But what's happening is they're trying to make you believe that they have the power to make a judgment just because he says the judge can. Here we go. We're going to give you another one. Here we go, 65U. Now, I told him, he said, sir, David, the judge makes the decision on what the Constitution means. I said, no, the person who wrote the Constitution tells what it means. The person who writes with the law tells what it means. A judge just makes a decision affirming what he read. 65U, constitutions and laws precede the judiciary. The constitutions and laws precede the judiciary. We made them. We made them. We made them. Jill Jones, the nation comes first. It is not about my friends and family who come over to hang out. It is about the nation. This is how we save the nation. This is how we do it. We do it by showing the truth. We don't get to put what's fun for us before what has to happen for the people. 64FF. See, he tried to say the judge gets to make a decision on what's constitutional. It's not you, it's not the people, it's the judge making the decision on what's law. They get to make a decision and create judge-made law. No, the judges are making determinations based off of what came before them. 64FF. A court can only declare what the law is, and whether consistent with the law of God and the fundamental or constitutional law of society. Everything they're binding their decisions off of is to be the law of God and the Constitution that we the people wrote. The judge ain't writing a dang thing about no dang law. The judge is following what we gave him. What we gave him. But see, guys, this is what people try to give y'all to make y'all think that you have no power. Well, I hope you guys seen this. What we gave him. I hope you guys see this, because what has happened is we got a lot of evil players who are trying to act like certain things are in the law that are not. And I want you to understand that I told you guys that the constitutions are trust. When you put somebody in a position of trust, it is by necessity in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 in the King James Version of the Bible, that when you have a matter that is to be heard as righteous people, you are to have it in front of one of the saints. One of the saints means one of the people in the church. The regular man in the church, that's the most lowly man in the church, can make a decision that's going to be fair. I'm going to prove it. Look at 64II. The law does not define exactly, but trust in the judgment of a good man. So a jury is a number of good men, right, who are of the community, who knows you. That came from the Bible. So what's happening is, what you got to realize is people are lying to us about what certain jurisdictions are. They're lying to us about what should be done, and they're not. If you have a righteous man knows what equity is. A righteous man is not to be over a case that he's making money on that's outside of his normal position as a judge, and then be telling he wants your kids to be taken away from you because all of y'all make money off of the case. That is not right or righteous or equitable. But I want you guys to see how they trick y'all, because if you don't know, this is what people try to give y'all to make y'all think that you have no power. Watch this. See, he said that there's judge-made law when they make decisions. So that means that after they adjudicate the case, that it's going to be some new law. That's what he said right in front of y'all. 64V, a new adjudication does not make a new law. A new adjudication does not make a new law. So what is he talking about, this judge-made law? A new adjudication does not make a new law, but declares the old, because adjudication is the utterance of the law, what we wrote and what we said as the people. And by adjudication, the law is newly revealed, which was for a long time hidden. See, guys, when I come and I show y'all the truth, we in a situation now where we got stuff that was a long time hidden. Just because a judge allows us to win a case in recent history that we had no knowledge of before does not mean that the judge made a law. The judge finally dealt with the law that we created. That's what's happened. So, guys, when these people are telling you that there's no difference between being one of the people and a citizen, they're doing that for a purpose. See, when I talked to him about corporations and he said, do these entities sell food? He thought he was slick. He was trying to. Okay, everybody. So I wanted you guys to see the types of things this gentleman said, because he kept trying to make it seem like we can trust the government to make decisions for us and that it's always lawful what they say and we can believe what they say. And he said, David, you're going to say that the statute could be wrong. It could be unconstitutional. The whole thing that sounds like sovereign citizen stuff, that sounds fake because you don't believe the Constitution applies to you and all this stuff, right? Foolishness. So I started asking him, I said, sir, do you believe that all statutes apply to all men? He really didn't want to deal with that situation. He wanted to hide that. And there was a very important reason that he hid that, because he wanted you guys to believe that courts are always right. He wanted y'all to believe that courts are always acting lawfully. He wants us to assume that just because somebody writes something called statutes, it's legit. And I said, sir, you really don't want to go there, because if you're trying to say that all courts are legit, why are there so many statutes that have been knocked down as unconstitutional, sir? And he had a hard time fighting. He started to break down and he started to give up, and he was shrugging his shoulders in, and he was apologizing, saying, okay, I stand corrected. I had that wrong. I didn't know that this was non-positive law. But what I want to do is I want you guys to hear another Supreme Court situation. I think this was the Supreme Court on this one. This could have been of a appeals court. We'll see. But what I want you to realize is this was in 2017. And this is in Georgia, and Georgia is having certain statutes that's allowing the CPS workers to do certain dirty things to parents, even to the point of arresting parents with stuff that they never proved, which makes the parents have felonies, because the courts they don't want the parents to be able to get out there and tell y'all what the courts are doing wrong. So they're using a private legislative tribunal acting like it's a court. Once they act like it's a court, they get hold of your kids, they start dogging you, and they try to prevent you from having justice based on the common law. And they're using some type of justice based on the statute or what the statute doesn't tell them they have to do. And then they'll flip how the court should work in a real court of record But most parents never get here because they give up, they sad, they're broken, they lose everything. They have no more will to fight. This is why we use affidavits and notices and CC the Supreme Court, the legislature, everybody, so they know I'm not running around in circles to all your little dumb legislative tribunals to hope that you decide to do right. I'm going at your head on the first day, and I'm going to say what the Supreme Court justices or the high-level judges would say, which you guys are about to hear. I want to play this through for you guys because you're going to hear the foolishness of these attorneys in these courts. I want you to hear the foolishness of the legislature. You guys will not believe it. I promise you. I promise you, your heart is about to go crazy right now. And this is not Dave Jose. This is actually an actual court. So let's listen, guys.
My name is Corrine Mull, and I have the honor of representing the Hendersons in this case, the mother and father of the children in whose interest we are proceeding in this case. The right to the custody and control of one's child is a fiercely guarded right in our society and in our law. It is a right that should only be infringed upon under the most compelling circumstances. And those are the words of this court back in 1986.
Okay, guys. Guys, we got this brave attorney who talking about how parents have a right to have the custody of their kids. Not the court gives you the ability to possibly have them. Not the CPS can say you can have them or not. The court has a right, and it's a highly guarded right that is as old as the Supreme Court itself is understood and known. So watch y'all how this brave lady judge is talking and how the other judge, brave lady attorney is talking, and then how this other attorney is talking. And I want y'all to realize the quality of attorneys that these CPS workers have for the state. Listen to this, y'all. It's going to blow y'all away.
Since that time, we have a new juvenile code. Here, appellants, in the case before us, appellants faced a juvenile court that not only seized their children without compelling circumstances, but also deprived appellants of the most basic fundamental rights.
Now, oh boy, we got to slow this down. I'm going to turn to an island boy, right? Now, look, guys, did this lady say they seized their kids unlawfully without proof of anything being wrong? See, guys, this is what happened in my case, what happened in Arlena's case, what happened in Melissa Deagle's case, what happened in the Lawler's case, what happened in cases all over the country, thousands and thousands and thousands of cases. They take your kids and they don't give you fundamental due process, which is from the common law and the Constitution. That's where the fundamental rights come from. They give you a administrative due process, which is just a hearing, maybe, which is what the dumb attorney said in front of y'all. He said, oh, you get due process, which is just a hearing. Dude, don't play. Don't play. Now, y'all gonna see these judges bring smoke because they realize, wait, these clowns are doing dirty to people. Watch what these people say, y'all. And I'm explaining some along the way so you guys can understand.
The juvenile court denied appellants their right to counsel, their right to notice, their right to be heard, and their right.
Okay, I want y'all to understand this now. A lot of people say to y'all, David Jose, what's the point of doing these dumb notices? She just told you that you have a right to counsel, a right to notice. The CPS courts will often take your kids and send the notice to the wrong house on purpose. They'll literally say you don't live in your house, or they'll say you live, in another state, you ran away, you're lost, you're whatever. They don't give fair notice, which is due in a constitutional court or a court of record. So now for the first time in these parents' life, they're in front of a court that actually cares about notice. See, those little legislative tribunals that are not courts, that are administrative, don't care about notice. They need your kids to make money. And by the time you get to this court, some years have passed. Watch this, y'all.
Confrontation. All of these protections are guaranteed by the U.S. and Georgia constitutions and are codified by the new juvenile code.
Now, guys, did she just say these are guaranteed by the state constitution? Guaranteed in the Georgia Constitution. Now, how is it, y'all, that you got something that every officer in the state of Georgia swore to in the Georgia Constitution, and then when they happen to do these private little legislative tribunals, they just say, we're going to bypass on your right to have that? Give notice, y'all. That is the right of everybody. You let somebody know when they're harming you so y'all can fix it as men and women. Keep listening.
As a result of these egregious violations, appellants were rendered completely unable to prepare or present a defense to the accusations against them. The deprivation of procedural due process.
Man, this lady killing it so bad, I got to stop again. So they didn't even let the people fight against their accusers. This is what happens around America. They don't let you bring people into the court to tell what's wrong. They strike people off the record. They hide evidence. This is a common practice in America, but you got dumb attorneys running around telling people you just lost your kids and you mad. No, you cheated. You're saying people lost cases and they never went to a court. You fake like they were in a court. The guy in front was not a judge. He act like he write an order. He calls it a minute order, and everybody just fakes like somebody told you that they can have your kid. But this bad attorney right here is blowing their back out with real law. If you notice, she's older. She has that understanding of some of the things that's in common law that most attorneys ain't gonna bring up today. They'll get disbarred for some of this stuff, but I'm showing y'all what happens in a real court, in a court of record, when they're not in the bag trying to make money. See, in Arizona, the Supreme Court is in the same office of a man named David Byers, who is in the administrative office of the courts, who holds the indemnity fund for these people and hide their bonds so that you can't go after their bonds. I'm telling y'all what's happening in real life and why we can't fight the normal way that everybody else tried. Hey, go tell the sheriff. And the sheriff is working, getting paid $800 per pickup of every kid. Hey, go tell this and that. Go tell the military. Go tell whatever. No, we're going to tell the people and we're going to correct this. But you can't correct it until you know what's really happening. Now, this is not David Jose. This is not David Jose's case. I'm not the judges on the panel, but the judges are going to say some things after this attorney talks and the other side talks. And I'm going to let you guys hear so you can understand what's really going on in America. Y'all not going to believe this. And I'm so excited to show this to y'all because it's these same dumb low-level attorneys that y'all been fighting, that I'm trying to give you guys the courage to stand up to and to beat and to fight at every opportunity you get and to really study and know the law so you are ready with an answer when God should call on you. See, when we deal in faith and we understand Jesus and why we believe what we believe, God tells us to be ready with an answer for any man that might ask. So if you're going to teach the law that comes from the common law, and it is the word of God that it came from, when somebody asks you a question dealing with the fundamental principles of the constitutions and the laws that you created for these servants to follow, you better be at a point where you got to answer. And this is why I work so hard with y'all, because if I die, I want y'all to have the answer. People want to make me have holes in my body and look like Swiss cheese. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I want y'all to have an answer. That's what I want for y'all. Let's go.
Combined with the absence of oaths or any witness testimony whatsoever, resulted in a null and.
Now notice, guys, she said without I believe she said oaths, like nobody swearing that anybody did wrong. Exactly what I've been telling y'all. They do in CPS court, APS court, child support enforcement.
Process combined with the absence of oaths or any witness testimony whatsoever.
No witness testimony. You can't even go against your accuser, guys. This is what happens in every CPS court in the country, pretty much. Keep going.
Resulted in a null and void order. This court has ruled extensively.
Whoa, guys, did you notice that the lady didn't say, hey, when a judge makes an order that is null and void, is null and void? The attorney said it resulted in a null and void. I'm sorry, a null and void order. So whatever they say they could do in those little CPS courts, when they don't follow the rules of a real court of record, what happens is they automatically lose their validity. It's null and void on its face now. Not when the judge said so, not later, not when somebody decides they want to help you in the legislature, now. And if parents and people understand the authority they have, they will fight and keep strong. If they believe there's nothing they can do and they're weak and that these things are really legitimate, like Michael tried to trick us to believe the other day, look, Title 42, it says this. I mean, come on, man. It's really legislative stuff. They can do what they want to do to you. Shut your punk anus up. You're weak and you're lying to the people, and you're not really as tough as you act, because you should be more willing to protect the people, but you're going to sit your punk behind up, lie to the people getting their kids stolen, kids getting raped, and your punk behind act like they got jurisdiction to do what they do. But this brave attorney right here is talking her junk right now. She's like Mike Tyson. Let's listen to the stuff, y'all.
On the necessity for due process in juvenile proceedings. And the Georgia legislature, as I've said, has codified all of the rights addressed here. So
y'all got to understand. It's a stupid thing if the Georgia legislature has to codify everything that the people already said in the constitutions. Notice she said, listen, the Georgia legislature already told them in the statute that they can't be doing this to people based on the dang statute, even though it was already in the dang Georgia constitution. Shut the freak up. This is them trying to preserve the statute and let people think this is still a decent little program and system they're using. You're breaking the freaking law and the whole statute because you've never had the authority to do this to people. And any legislature writing this bull crap is full of crap themselves too. But don't just take my word for it. I'm just a dumb Negro from the ghetto. I want the judge to say it.
there are three layers that can be looked at. Looking at the code, we have answers to all of the issues in this case.
Let me stop you here. What's the difference between a protective order and a dependency order?
They're almost, it's a difference in terminology, but what a protective order is, the order that is held, that is issued after a dependency hearing has occurred.
Did that occur in this case?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Now, where in the code does it say if you violate a protective order, that can be used against you to take your children away?
It does not say that anywhere.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Now, guys, in Title 42, and when I showed y'all that it says you cannot take people's kids against the objection of the parent, either of the parents, he said, where in the statute or code does it say you can take your kids? See, he's asking the trust question. I'm going to get deep with y'all. He knows that they're not supposed to be doing this stuff. He's saying, did the legislature tell y'all that y'all could be going around snatching people's kids just because somebody violated a protective order or some dumb junk? Does the statute anywhere? See, when I give the trust arguments, I say, where in the Constitution does it say you could do this? Where in the statute does it say you could do this? Where in the Constitution did we grant authority for the legislature to make statutes to steal our stuff or our kids or our parents or whatever? Now, what y'all got to realize is the judges know under the common law, right? Under the historical principles that children are part and parcel to their parents, they belong to you. Not as slaves, but they're flesh of your flesh and blood of your blood. They're a lineage of your blood. And these people are stealing them for money. Now, the judge is asking a question. He didn't come all the way out yet and say, listen, man, you can't use the statute against nobody, right? It'd be crazy if he did say that, but watch this.
In fact, everywhere in the code, at every turn, the intent is manifest, and that is to provide due process to the parents and to the parties before the court. The judgment in question came at the end of a judicial review, and that is after protective orders have been entered into, looking at the protective order.
Uh-oh, guys. Now, she just told some more about what's happening. So she says it was after a judicial review. So notice, guys, everything before what they ran up to was administrative. And then they got in front of one of the courts that should be doing a judicial review of the administrative process. A bunch of bull. All they're looking at in the judicial review is, did the entity do what they are supposed to do by their standards, but not, is this all 100% constitutional? And where did they get authority from in the first place? This is why I never appealed. I don't give a freak about going to somebody else so they can look over and see if what the statute says you could do, you did. I want to know, did Joannis follow what the Constitution said, right? So she's in a judicial review. Now you got to understand, what the freak is all this judicial review if it was already a judge and judicial in the first place? See, if you went to a hearing and that dude in the front was a judge, why would you have to do a judicial review? You have to do the judicial review because they're already having you under a jurisdiction you're not supposed to be in. And we're only 2 minutes and 52 seconds into this video, y'all. It's 31 minutes long. So let's keep listening, because this ain't David Jose saying it. And I'm sorry I have to interrupt so much, y'all, but I feel like I owe it to y'all to tell you what's happening so you catch on to it, because I've taught you guys a lot of these things. If I don't slow down and connect the dots, you might miss a little bit. So let's keep going.
Seeing how people are complying with
But which one? But that's what I don't understand. That's what I'm trying to get at. Was it a protective order, or was it a consent dependency order, or was it both?
Consent dependency, guys. I don't think the parents consented to it. And a dependency order is saying that they need to be in care, but nobody proves it. So it's going to get ugly. We're going to keep going.
And if it's both, how does it be both? Where does it say you can do that?
Holy moly. Did y'all catch what this judge did? So he said, wait, can it be dependency and a protective order at the same time? Can it be both? Where in the world in the dang statute or the Constitution did it say you could do both? Why are you guys using authorities that nobody gave you? Why are you going by a process that ain't nobody make up nowhere? Y'all stealing people's kids. Y'all trafficking. See, it ain't me who's getting tripped up. The judges are like, where did it say you could do that at? Because they know this is a legislative tribunal. They're bypassing the rights already of the parents, and the judges know. But the judges are trying to act like there's some resourcefulness in this system. So they're trying not to say what the attorney doesn't say for the parents. So if the attorney for the parents don't say, hey, you know, this whole system is completely whack and is not statutorily correct, and they should have never took their kids in the first place, then the judge can't say it. So this is deep. Let's keep listening.
actually both, Your Honor. It's a dependency finding. The protective order is a dependency finding that the children are dependent. In this case, back at its incept of the case, we had a consent finding of dependency, but that was way back when.
Sure.
Now, notice what's happening, guys. Usually they take your kids, they make you do all this stuff, and then they say they can't give them back. Now, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll come to you and they'll say, listen, give us your kid and sign this, or you're never going to see your kids again. And then they call that consent. So remember, I showed you guys in Title 42. No, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. In Social Security Act, 1935 Social Security Act 11016D. Now, what happens is they threaten you to take your kid, but in 11016D, it says, nothing in this act shall be construed as authorizing any agent, officer, or representative to take charge of any child over the objection of either parent or person standing in local parentis to such child. So you don't have the right to take the kids. So they hide that. So then they use Title 42. Title 42 don't say nothing about it. So it makes it seem like you have the power to go just snatch somebody's kid up. So what happens is it's so long, it's so confusing that it's hard to find where everything is. So if it's somewhere in there that matches the actual Social Security Act, Title 42 never passed. It's so long, parents can't figure out what to do. They're trying to talk to the agents and trying to ask, how do we get our kid back? What do we need to do? And they say, if you don't sign this, we kicking your anus out. We kicking your anus out, right? We're taking your kid, kicking your anus out. You ain't seeing your kid ever again. That's how they threaten you. So now you sign it, and now they say, oh, we got this consent. Another thing they're allowed to do is they can sign your name for you and bring it to the court. And what happens is the legislative tribunal accepts it as legitimate if they turn it in, even if they don't know if you signed it. So they don't verify you signed it. you have to tell you didn't sign it. And if you don't, it's agreed upon that you signed it. So they can turn in documents for you, say that you wanted them to take your kids, and you would never know. Let's keep going.
The case we're in before the court right now,
But
the parties.
what I'm getting at is the state in their brief consistently refers to this as a protective order. And they put it in quotes. They set it apart. Protective order, protective order, protective order. I look in the code and it tells me at 151129, the protective order, it says after notice and opportunity for a hearing afforded to a person subject to a protective order may then be modified.
Subject to
Then
a protective
then
order.
I see the state says, nope. Court has inherent
Oh my
authority to
gosh.
amend anything, anytime, without
Now, guys,
notice on anything.
This shows what
I don't
remember
see
when
how
I
you
showed y'all
reconcile the
penal
two. I
document,
want
they
somebody
say
to help.
that the,
Well,
the CPS court, the juvenile court, has its own customs and it's innovative. So they're changing process as they go. So this judge is like, how the freak are they just ninjaing, changing the rules of court and all this stuff? And they're saying that any judge can make up what they want to do and say what they want to say at any time, even though these government officials, I'm sorry, these agents and these people acting as judges are not really judges. So they're running around telling you they could take your kids, they could do what they want to do, they could tell you you can't see your kids, they can change stuff, and that ain't even in the documents and the statutes. But the Constitution says they can't do any of it. So what's really happening is they're running big time game. They're running big time game. The judge is catching it. And I'm letting y'all see when you get to high level courts, which very few parents get to, they start blowing backs out. I realize it ain't my issue to just go to a higher level court and hope they help me myself. I need to go to the people and teach the people how to bring back in the real courts and get rid of these game playing courts. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin Vega. I'll go back 1 second. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Authority to amend anything, anytime hearing afforded
I'm
to a
rewinding it
person
for Justin
subject to
Vega.
a protective order may then be modified. Then
That's
I
right.
then I see the state says, nope. A court has the inherent authority to amend anything, anytime, without notice on anything. I don't see how you reconcile the two. I want somebody to help me.
Well, Your Honor, I think it's clear but muddy, but at any rate, it is clear that what is happening here is the juvenile code, the new juvenile code, and to some extent the old juvenile code, dwelled on procedural due process.
Now, see, guys, she's trying to talk about the juvenile code, but the problem is the juvenile code is not higher than the Constitution. And you could tell this lady really wants to lay into the code and insult the code. But she's afraid to because she's an attorney. So she wants to go as far as she needs to go to get them to understand, but she don't want to go all the way out there and flip the tables over like Jesus and really blow up the spot. So she's being reserved. Watch how she's speaking. Look at her body language. She don't know how the judge is going to respond yet. So she don't want to get them upset because she knows this is a system everybody's making money on. But as they start giving her courage because they're attacking, she's speaking a little bit harsher, but let's listen.
Giving rights to the parent. The protective order is what is issued after the dependency to protect the kids in the home. So that if something were to happen to the kids, you can yank the parents back in. But nowhere does it say you can yank them back in and take them away from the parents without due process, without a lawyer, without witnesses, without...
You got to have an emergency hearing.
You got to have an emergency hearing. And in this case, that's not what they did.
Not just an emergency hearing, y'all. Based on the Constitution, the government don't have the right to come in your private life unless there's some wrong that has been done, that has been proven, just like a regular man. If I'm walking on the street, I see a man beating up a little kid, I can jump in, knock his behind down, neutralize him, pick up the kid, call the police, hold the kid away from him until the police come, give the kid to the police. I can do that as a man. I can arrest him. I can beat him down until he stops, neutralize him, right? Not kill him, but, light his anus up until he stops trying to hurt the kid, and then neutralize him until the cops come. Every man or woman can do that. What they're doing is they're just literally taking kids because they feel like they can, and they got the police with the gun. See, this is what I told Artie. Artie, so you're saying pretty much just because you got the man with the gun with you and they don't know the law and you send them something that looks like a warrant and is not, that you should be able to take people's kids with no due process. You can use due process that's not common law. Really? Really? So you didn't prosecute them and put them in prison where they don't have any parents to go to. So then you would have to take the kids into the state. You just take the kids away, leave the parents running around. And if they have any more kids, you want to take those, but you're not going to charge the parents because you know there was nothing done wrong and it'd be too hard to prove. So you get to make money off of the kids as they are in the system, tons of money, but nobody's talking about the big elephant in the room. So here we go, guys. Let's keep watching. Let me know if this is making sense to y'all. If it's fire, please. I don't want to bore y'all to death. Let me know if this is making sense and this is good information for you guys.
The judge in this case was specifically asked by the clerk, is this going to be a preliminary protective hearing? And he said no. He was very clear about that, and I think we should take him at his word. It is no, and had he intended in his mind for it to have been an emergency hearing, he would have had to have set the hearing for 72 hours later, which he did not do. Clearly, the court was relying on the inherent right to modify, and that is provided for.
You think the court was doing that then?
I think so. I think ultimately that's what the judge relied on.
Ultimately, but I'm saying on January 20th, 2016.
Now, let me show y'all. I can show y'all hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases where this is the general practice in different states all across the country at the same time. I can bring people who will show you in their case, many of them recorded it, that the same types of things happen to them across the country. And I want to tell you that there's a group called the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. It has 30,000 members. They're the ones treating these people how kids. So when you have attorneys and judges across the country working in a program that makes tons of money and they're all bypassing the law like it's nothing. And then God gives me the beautiful opportunity to get Artie on video and let him start talking about Title 42, which he used to work in. And let him tell y'all how he gets to do what he wants to do because a judge said so. He just spilled the beans on their whole system in front of y'all. It's crazy. But let's keep watching.
You think the judge thought, I can modify anytime I want to modify? Don't have to give any notice?
I think.
Now, guys, when we want to modify government and we want to stop them from doing wrong things, if the judge says, do you think you can modify just because you want to modify without giving any notice? He's letting you know the lawful process to do things. I hope y'all pick up on that.
With respect to the court, I think he was so unhappy with the situation before him that he wasn't.
Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about the history and this kind of obvious animosity that built up between the judge.
Now, guys, let me remind y'all, I showed y'all the Pima County handbook from Arizona, where they said, listen, y'all, this judge right here, we're watching a video, says, tell me about the animosity towards towards your client. They're not supposed to be disrespectful to you, dogging you, clowning you, but I showed y'all the Pima County handbook, where it clearly says we're going to use a host of technically irrelevant things like blame, shame, attitude to make a decision on where somebody's kid is going to go. And you are going to be affected in the same way as a guardian ad litem. So they're teaching these people to trample people's rights. They're teaching people to trample people's rights. And this judge is smart. That's right, Antoine. I love Antoine. Antoine is from the D, from 7 Mile, down the street from where I grew up. And Antoine got that swag. So Antoine knows he's peeping out where the judge is showing that they're doing wrong and he's leading her. This judge on the left is like, oh, I want to get these clowns. Let's get them. They're getting worked up right here because they realize the state is committing a fraud against the people. They know it. So they're like, oh yeah, let's get some of this issue. Let's go. Let's bring some of that funk, you know? Now watch this.
Clients, can you give us a little bit of the backstory on that?
I think the state would give you a better backstory, but I'll try my hand at it. I came in on the case at the tail end. There were protective order was entered, and there is dispute by the family with whether they complied with orders. And throughout the history of this case, the judge felt, it would appear, that the family was not moving fast enough, and not getting off of drugs fast enough. But at no point was there ever any finding that the children were at risk or in danger. At no time.
Which is required.
Absolutely.
To take away someone's children.
No finding whatsoever. What was egregious is that all rights that are permitted to our clients all telescope into the right to counsel. If you don't have the right to counsel, you don't have the right to anything else. And in this case, the court had no problem with denying them the right to counsel.
Well, and even more fundamental than that is the right to familial relations.
That's correct, Your Honor. That's very correct. And in this case, Judge Self asked me what I think in this case the court, as the court says. And in this case, the court...
Did y'all catch that one? What did he say was more fundamental? Because I told you about the right of association, being able to assemble together, and y'all seen us knock down mandates by using that. Just the other day, Sherry had her dad go to the hospital, and they were trying to interfere with what she does with her dad, but she is the closest one to him. So she has a right of association. I'm not trying to speak her business. I'm just trying to let y'all know a right to familial relations is fundamental. And your state constitutions, the liberty interest that you have includes that. But why has no attorney ever told y'all that? And why, when I say it in front of these clowns like Michael and these clowns like Artie and these stupid attorneys around the nation, do they not want you to know that you have a right to familial relation? Why are they hiding that from y'all? I'm gonna play it again.
Rights that are permitted to our clients. All telescope.
Now, I'm going to show y'all this attorney. She made a mistake because she just said rights that are permitted to our parents. See, what she's using is the statute. See, the statute permits what they call parents to have their kids. But fundamental constitutional law says the people have a right to have liberty, which includes freedom of association, freedom of assembly, right to raise your children the way you see fit, right to work in what field you want to work in, and they don't tell y'all. They don't tell y'all. So the judge is like, well, shucks, attorney, we ain't got to even talk about what we permitted them to have in the state as a citizen, because as a citizen, you have a person who is written about in the statutes that have certain privileges. The privileges to be a parent over your child, which the state has incorporated on a piece of paper under a marriage license. So they have a parent company that's a marriage license. When they try to get rid of it, they try to do a dissolution, right? They're dissolving the company. And then they start trying to control where the assets go, who gets how much money, where the kids go, all this stuff. In the common law, you already have a freaking right to your kids. And the judge brought up the word fundamental. So I'm telling you guys the different words. One word deals with a person as a citizen. One word deals with one of the people. Yes, the screen is frozen because I'm teaching y'all. So one person is one of them is one of the people. One person is, there is a person that is a citizen that gets his privileges from statute as part of the civil family. And then on the other side, there is the people who have a 100% guaranteed right to their kids. Totally different. That came from God. You can look in Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, right? Children are a heritage of the Lord. No, the state doesn't have a trust over your kid, Karen O. What happens is they create a piece of paper called a birth certificate. What happens is you can use the birth certificate and your social security to get credit. So when you look, there's some people in the ghetto who got power and all this stuff in their kid's name and their credit is bad before they're 18. How is that possible? Because you are allowed to get credit with a social security number and a birth certificate, right? So because you have the birth certificate, you get the social security number. The social security number is what is used to open up commercial accounts. So what happens is the state has control over this commercial account where they give you out a social security number. If they snatch your kid and adopt your kid, they take the social security number too and the birth certificate and remove access to it. So what happens is now you can't have any benefit of that credit and they assign it to the new family. It is totally statutory and it has nothing to do with the common law. So the truth is they can take the statutory stuff away from you. They cannot take your physical baby. This is why in Troxel versus Granville, the 2000 case, Sandra Day O'Connor, the first female Supreme Court justice, said children are not a mere creature of the state. What is she saying? She's saying, listen, children are not just a piece of paper created by corporate government that they could control, but actually living, beings that need love and health and, they require the touch of their parents, and the state cannot take that from them, nor can they give that love to the child. So what the statutory system likes to act like is that the children are a product of the state, therefore they got control over it and can take it. But the common law says, no, that's not true. The children are part and parcel to the parents. And under the common law system, there is no adoption. That's why they're going to have to give the kids back. Let's keep going.
Right to counsel. If you don't have the right to counsel, you don't have the right to anything else. And in this case, the court had no problem with denying them the right to counsel.
Well, and even more fundamental than that is the right to familial relations.
That's correct, Your Honor. That's very correct. And in
now
this
notice,
case,
guys, when I fight to get somebody's kid back and I send it all over to the high-level government officials, the Supreme Court, the CPS director, the legislature, I don't say, hey, can you please give us the kid back based on statute 42525? I literally show that the parents have liberty interests over their children, and there's no law anywhere in the world that allows them to take them. This is the thing that people don't realize I'm doing. They look at my paper and say, it's a piece of dumb paper. How is it going to do anything? Because I already know where the highest level of government knows the truth. Just because you don't does not mean that when you read my paper, that is not going to do what it needs to do, because you're not at the level to understand what I'm doing. But see, what I do is I teach y'all a whole bunch of stuff. So y'all get to learn. See, Melly Mel just got it. Melly Mel is a bad mama jamma. She caught what the freak was happening right there. She's been doing a lot of study with us. So there's certain words that people who are in my private memberships, who we can talk freely and about everything. What happens is we can prove by law exactly what's happening. And I have taught them certain words, certain jurisdictions, certain different things. And now the pieces are coming together. See, Unity said, yes, liberty interest by God. She knows exactly what the freak we're talking about. Right? Let's keep going.
Judge Self asked me what I thought. I think in this case, the court, as the court said, it's me against you. And
that's really, I think that's stunning.
Now, guys, notice this. In a lot of these CPS courts, the judges say, oh, I'm going to do this to you, and you better do this. When I told Artie that the court of record was a court that has a tribunal that is independent of the magistrate, whoever's bringing the case can't have a judge or magistrate attacking your anus along with him. So you can't be working together. But here's the problem. Title 42, USC 674, payment to states, shows that the CASA members, the whole neglect and abuse court, including the judge, the attorneys on both sides, the prospective parents are all making money on the case. You the only one in there who's not connected to them. So they're working together to make money. They're hospitals, the doctors they use to say you're a drug head or something. The psychologists they use, they're all working together to make money. You cannot have a judge that's financially benefiting from the case. But this is what's happening. Let's keep going.
That was said by a judge. Did anybody move to recuse this judge?
Not at that time, Your Honor. I think we were all stunned. And
Now, notice, guys, you can all have attorneys in the freaking room. A stupid CPS judge, who's not really a judge, he's an administrative hearing officer faking like he's a judge, will sit there in front of a whole bunch of attorneys. You got a ton of attorneys in the room and a guardian ad litem. And the judge will say, hey, it's me against you, parent. So now they're breaking the law. They're actually committing a trespass against the people. It's a felony. He's attacking the parent, making war against the parent he swore to protect in the Constitution. Did y'all notice that no attorney makes criminal charges on his punk behind? All the attorneys in the room, nobody goes at that judge and goes right over to the next court and say, I just witnessed a crime. This judge just attacked one of the people. Can we please get this guy prosecuted? He just did it in open court. 2 attorneys can go over there and blow their backs out right now. But this don't happen. Do y'all not understand why I'm trying to show y'all exactly what the freak is going on here? This is why I don't run to these courts. I said, I'm going to educate the people. And then we're all coming. I'm going to teach the world what you're doing, no matter how long it takes me, no matter how tired I am, no matter how much I don't sleep, how much I don't eat, no matter how much I give away in my business and lose, I'm coming. And if I didn't show y'all this, y'all wouldn't know. Ain't this a freaking dang shame? We are 8 minutes into a 31-minute video. And all this wrong coming out. And these freaking clowns calling themselves attorneys are watching it every day in courtrooms, talking about, oh, it's so bad. Susan Sedembrino, oh yeah, man, they do terrible stuff in the family court. Professor Clements, oh man, yeah, the Bar Association is full of bad people. Well, how many did you give charges to? How many did you prosecute, you freaking clown? You're making money off of book deals. Going on videos telling people how bad the courts are, but you're leaving the parents to fend for themselves, you punk cowards. This is why I get mad. This is why I don't play with people in my groups. This is why if some trolls come, I kick them the freak out, because I'm going to bring the real truth and the real law. And I'm going to show y'all that you can't just accept that these people are doing right because they're in front of a courtroom, that what looks like a courtroom with a freaking black dress on, acting like they're a judge, and they're not really a freaking judge, signing documents with a different name in almost all the court cases around the nation, signing stuff called minute orders rather than orders because they think you too stupid to know the difference. And no attorneys coming to get all these people prosecuted. We got a judge in Wisconsin that just got caught trafficking and rape, having child rape stuff. He was distributing, and he was a CPS judge, a hearing officer, and nobody's telling. Clown junk. Clown junk. Clement stays in the bar. We tried to show Lynn Wood when they were trying to get Trump why they were doing it. Lynn Wood knew about the trafficking of kids. We talked to him. Lynn Wood is still in the bar. I respect him as a man. But how the freak do you know that people are trafficking? Talk about it and don't do something. David Clements, stay in the bar. Don't do a dang thing. Susan Sedembrino, stay in the bar. Don't do a dang thing. I'm being real with y'all. You know these clowns are trafficking kids. You know this. And for Lynn Wood, I respect the man. I like the scriptures he posts. But he believes in the dang Q stuff that I don't even believe in. So you know that y'all believe people getting trafficked. And you ain't going to do what I'm doing and show this stuff? Or you know what me and Josh are doing? You're not going to say, hey, platform, I don't have anything for y'all. But at least let Dave and Josh come in here and show you all these laws and these court cases where the judges are saying this. I'm a bar dude. You know, I can't roll like that the way my license is set up. But at least I let this gym owner and this Negro from the ghetto come blow this back out real quick. Why are people covering? Why are people covering? I respect the man. I like the Bible scriptures. I like when he says all evil will be revealed. But dude, you know people who know the evil. Clements ain't revealing it. You'll reveal Clements. But when it comes to the people seeing real truth with people you know doing stuff, There's something going on. I don't know what it is. Then you get an insane clown posse going after Jovan. Won't stand up for the truth. Clown people. Professor Clemens lying to y'all. I called his anus out in front of all y'all. Show. No, he tried to call me out with Gail Golick. Then I freaking brought that smoke to both of them. He ran for me for 2 days. Then he got lit up in front of everybody on video discussing the law. The same way Artie got lit up. All these people running around playing games. Clemens get $300,000 to $500,000 from the people. Me and Josh doing real work. We got to beg for people to give a donation on his freaking platform because people say, I don't use that because WinRed is the devil. Bobby Boucher mommy told me. But we giving y'all real PCAPs. You'll give $500,000 to some freaking pretty hair clown who we know now. Y'all seen, I told y'all before, he's been sabotaging election integrity all over the place. People got mad at me for saying it. David, you shouldn't be talking about this special man. Look how nicely dressed he is and how pretty his hair is. And he said he was a lawyer. And if he's a lawyer, David, you better respect him. He's been doing this for 15 years. David, you better respect his gangster. These people are running game on the people. The Bar Association is eating the freaking nation up. They ain't brought y'all real remedy for none of the Cove stuff, for none of the jab stuff, for none of the stuff where they tried to shut down your businesses. They ain't did it nowhere. And clearly we can see across the nation, y'all see, look, there's people on this chat who got more remedy than all the attorneys in America, period, not including me. Now I'm dropping in PCAPs. I'm talking my junk because I don't give a freak today. So we realize there's people who are newbies in law for less than 6 months that have done more for election integrity, more for knocking down mandates, stopping people from forcing stuff in their arm than the whole nation of attorneys. And I'm talking my junk. I dare anybody, any attorney in the nation to show how they've given real remedy more than the people in our little small freaking groups. I dare anybody. It ain't gonna exist. So I'm gonna stop playing games with people. I'm gonna let y'all know. This is how real deal stuff works. And the trolls gonna come, y'all. The deep state clowns gonna come because they can't deal with what I'm saying. They never try to argue with me about the law. Never. They don't make it all the way through. They got to run. They got to go put their kids in the car. You know, they gotta wash the books. You know, they always got something they got to do. I got to go wash my books. What? You wash your books? What? Yeah, I got to go wash my books. Oh, okay, player. All right, you must not want any of this smoke. Let's keep going, y'all. Listen.
That was the last order. That was the final order.
I mean, I just find that shocking that a judge would say that in open court or anywhere for that matter.
I'd just like to reserve 5 minutes.
May I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Why don't you reserve the balance of your time? I want to hear from the state.
Okay. I will.
Uh-oh. I want to hear from the state. Now, guys, everybody talking about the big bad state, the big bad attorneys for them. Let's see how these dumb clowns freaking really get down. When they got to stand up to the common law. See, this is why when I fight them, guys, by God, they can't deal with me because God has trained me in the common law and it came from him. So I had to go study. Now, what you're going to realize is this guy said, man, just hold the balance of your 5 minutes. I want that smoke. Just like me. He ain't going to go as hard as I go. He's going to go pretty dang hard. But watch this.
So what's going on here? Because I'm going to tell.
Bro, he just came in this mud like daddy home player. What the freak y'all got going on? Daddy just walked up in the house and kicked the freaking door down. Now, what I want y'all to understand that every single one of you have more power than this judge as one of the people. You got fundamental rights they swore to. When they walked up, the judge ain't even hear her side of the freaking story yet as the state, because he knows the state is the people's servants. He's like, what the heck is going on in this mud? Dude just got ghetto. I'm going to rewind that. Dude got ghetto. Watch this.
Okay, I will do that.
Hold on, wait. Dude just turned to Melly Mel. Our Melly Mel. Dude just went full Melly Mel on them. Watch this. Kick the freaking dough down like, what's up?
Thank you. So what's going on here? Because I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't look good. I do not envy you being here. Obviously, it's not your fault, but what?
Now notice, y'all, ain't that how I talk? So what you coming up here with this smoke for? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that's about to get this smoke in front of the whole freaking nation? See, when you really understand the common law, you walk up in the house like you own that piece. You ain't servant to nobody. And now this judge is coming at her. Remember, this judge has less power than us. The judge straight up came in Melly Mel. He's like, you got some Negro nerve. What the freak is going on with you? You in the wrong hood. I feel sorry for your life. I feel sorry for what I'm about to do to you. See, I tell Clements and Artie, I'm like, y'all remember at the end of the Artie video, I'm like, I kind of feel sorry for him because I just destroyed this dude, right? I get in front of these government officials and I say, I feel sorry for what I'm about to do to you, right? I want to first thank you for the victory in advance. And then I'm going to stroke your ego a little bit on the way out because I know what I did to you, right? By God. And this is how it really works in the real world, y'all. So now let's see what happens when somebody who understands the law hears this bull crap. Listen, y'all. I asked Artie in front of y'all, you mean to tell me these Title 42 courts that never pass these administrative hearings, you can drag out parents with Title 42 that never pass when you could just show them the public law that's short. They'll know you can't do this to them. Win the case, you gonna drag them through years because they don't know? He said, yeah, totally. I'm like, you lucky I'm not in front of you. You're sitting up here binding parents and punishing them on purpose because they don't know. You're a coward. You are a coward. This is why, guys, the first day that I walked out of a CPS tribunal and I saw this little Hispanic woman speaking in Spanish and I can't see my babies crying, it broke my heart and I knew I had to do this. Then I seen a little white lady, same thing, probably less than 130, 40 pounds. I can't see my baby crying, broken down in a dang parking lot. I tell my wife, touch her shoulder, please. Just touch her shoulder. She's hurting right now. And these freaking clowns do this on purpose, playing with people's lives, y'all. There's people who done blew their brains out. There's people who took every drug they could find in the house to kill themselves. People who run their car completely off the road, run it into a river. I'm telling y'all, there is pain. People are feeling in real life every day. 1,000 kids a month in Arizona taken, very few parents arrested because they know they're not doing wrong. And we got these dumb attorneys out here lying. And I'm going to show y'all their main thing is, how are we supposed to know we can't do this or that? How are we supposed to know? I mean, we weren't put on notice about this. I mean, that ain't in our training. I mean, you gonna see the attorney walk away. She gonna act like she's walking away from the podium. Like, I don't know why they didn't teach us and help us. I don't know why they didn't do us this. They didn't take care of us this way. I don't know. This is why I fight the way I fight, y'all. I can't freaking give up because none of these freaking attorneys, from Linwood to Clements to Susan Sedembrino, none of the people like Gail, Fail, Golick, none of the people who have heard these things are standing up and really doing anything for the people. So I got to watch people dying, people killing each other, people hating each other, turning on each other in movements. Clowns like Michael Cadena, who ain't got nobody's kid back, who talk about everybody who knows. I got to watch all this when parents ain't got their kids and thinking about dying. When they calling me in the middle of the night, like, Dave, I don't know if I can live another day. And I got to give them hope. What up, D, Z? Hood Negro, what up? Sorry, y'all, that's family. So what I'm letting y'all know is I'm watching people dying, losing their kids, losing their mind. And these punk coward attorneys ain't telling y'all what I'm showing y'all now. And it's deep because Ricky is from a different school of teaching, but Ricky will go out and talk to the cops and let them know y'all breaking people's rights, y'all doing wrong. We don't use the same exact stuff, but he's out here putting his life on the line. You think they like when he come up to them and tell them what's right? You think they like it when people are auditing the police and showing they're not following the law? I'm showing y'all in the middle of a freaking courtroom that there's been years of abuse to a family and nobody helped them. From 2016 to 2018, punishing these parents. 2017. Punishing these freaking parents. And the parents don't really know the law like that. And they probably got to spin up the wazoo to get this dang attorney who just came up and started talking the law. I'm trying to show y'all what this world is really like. I'm trying to show y'all real PCAPs on how to get victory. I don't give a freak if I die. I don't give a freak who threatened me. I'm in this to win this. I don't give a freak what it costs. Ain't nobody gonna tell you this same stuff like I'm showing you. Because ain't nobody studied this specific thing. There's people who are powerhouses in other areas that I love and look up to. But when it comes to this junk, this is what I do, and I take it highly seriously. I don't play the freaking game. I don't freaking mince my words. I don't freaking bow down before government officials and attorneys. I run at them 100 freaking mile per hour and say, let's get these PCAPs. Let's get this smoke. Anything you want, I got it. Any level you want to raise this to, I'm with you. Because God has raised me up for a time such as this, and I better do what God has for me to do. Why these people laughing at God's stuff. Let me keep going.
What's going on here? Help us understand what this judge was doing.
Well, this juvenile court did nothing wrong in transferring.
Uh-oh. First thing this dumb clown attorney wants to do. See, guys, this is how it works. Y'all try to go around the nation and tell on these dirty clowns trafficking kids for money who not really judges. And the first thing one of these dirty attorneys do, like you understand in the cases that y'all seen around me, the dirty attorneys will come from all across the country talking bad about you and don't even know you, ain't never proved nothing. And the first thing they want to say is the court didn't do anything wrong. They're without reproach. You can't even look at them. It's always the parents. You realize what the freak is going on? Y'all realize what's happening? When you let them start opening their mouth, they start trying to take up for each other because they're all trafficking together. Let's see how that works when you really freaking know the law, though.
The children from the appellate's custody to the...
Y'all hear this attorney's voice? Don't this sound like the end of the time when I talked to Artie? The attorney, I mean, somebody, you can hear the trembling and quaking in her voice. You want to know why? Because she's in front of a court of record and they can throw your anus in prison for contempt. See, in these little CPS courts, they can lie all day, make up stuff, nobody get in trouble. You do that junk here, your anus can go to prison. And she knows it. Listen to the reverence in her voice and understand your power is greater than this, people. Listen.
Of the department. This case is not so much about what the juvenile court did, but the appellant's own actions. This case is about
Now, guys, notice every time the attorneys come up and start fighting anywhere in the country, if it's on Facebook, YouTube, this is all the parents' action. They killed 37,000 people. They destroyed people. They killed somebody. They don't deserve due process. They're really killers and drug dealers from the hood. They're rolling down the street and they're 6'4", shaking their head, making the dough, right? They got so many stories for why they can do what they're freaking doing. But listen to this.
From the appellant's custody to the custody of the department. This case is not so much about what the juvenile court did, but the appellant's own actions. This case is about
what could an appellant do? What could an appellant do that would cause him or her, in this case both, to not get a right to a lawyer? To not get a let me read.
Oh, guys, I don't care if you kill people in America, you get a right to an attorney. How the freak is the dumb state attorney saying, well, they don't have to have a right to do what they want to do because the CPS court is right already. I know. Now, we're not even going to talk about the fact that you guys are 3 higher court judges that have been doing this forever and you understand the common law. I'm just gonna come in here and tell y'all the court did nothing wrong. Y'all watch this. How do you know the court did nothing wrong? Were you there for every single action of the court? Did you see what the court did with the clerk behind the scenes? What the freak do you mean the court did nothing wrong? It was all the parents' actions. And if the parents were even killers in a court of record, they get a trial by jury. They get to have attorney. They get to have witnesses. They get to cross-examine evidence. What the freak do you mean it's all their fault? So we gonna punish them. Y'all see what the real deal is now? You're giving credit to people that they're going to be just when they're making millions and millions and millions, or if you're in Arizona, $1 billion a year off kids. And you're expecting them to tell the truth. You think their CPS social worker is going to tell the truth about if you're crazy or not. You've never been crazy your whole life. You've been working a job. You graduated from college. You've been helpful in the community for your whole life. And then you just pop up in CPS court and amazingly, you become mentally ill. Nobody ever said it before, and they're making money. You get these dirty drops as if you were on drugs, and they're like, "Oh, he was guilty of using drugs." But it's like, well, actually, I'm gonna tell you that, I went down the street to that drug place right there, and I have the testimony of every day before I came to you. I have all negatives from them, but only positives from you. Now, guys, I can tell you that this has happened in people's cases. I just told them, look, dude, I'm not taking your stupid junk. This ain't a court of record. I'm not doing it. They're like, David, you better do our services or you'll never see your kids again. I'm like, what about screw you, you punk coward? I'm going to flip this thing on your own head by God using Psalm 64. Show everything you did and destroy you with it. Because I know you're breaking the law. Yeah, I know I don't know a lot of people in your eyes now, and you think the word ain't going to get out. You're just going to take a brother's kids. I know you think it's cute and y'all going to protect each other, but you have no idea how I'm coming and what I'm about to do. By God, let's just watch. Let's keep going, y'all.
Because I'm reading 15:11:19. A party has the right to be present. They got that. They did get the right to be present. To be heard. Nope. To present evidence and material to proceedings. Doesn't look like it. To cross-examine witnesses. Doesn't appear from the record. To examine pertinent court files and records. Don't know. And to appeal the orders of the court.
Now, guys, if you have a right to examine files, they can't charge you $4,000 or $5,000 for it, $2,500 for it. When I tried to get the records in my case, it said, wait, first tell us what you're going to do with it. What? No, we don't know if we want to give it to you because you might sue. What? I have a right to examine the record, player. What the frick are you talking about? Well, we can ask the judge, but if we do let you get it, it's probably going to be $2,500, $3,000, $4,000. I can't remember what they said. But guys, they didn't give these people the chance and they said they had a right. Now, I didn't told y'all enough about what happens when you got a right to something. The state already swore that they'll never infringe. Excuse me. So they already said they'll never infringe. So if they'll never infringe, guys, could it be that the statutes in the state that tells them they can do certain things against you, or it doesn't mention that they have to do something that the Constitution says they have to do? Can the whole statutory system even be false? Can they really be using stuff against you and you got rights that they can't trample? But they like, we don't give a freak because ain't nobody gonna know. We making so much money. 88% of excuse me. 88% of the kids who end up in trafficking come from CPS and foster care. The Fed said that. They find kids, the kids end up trafficked from CPS and foster care. How did they acquire these kids? How did Epstein get all his kids? How did Ghislaine Maxwell get all her kids? Could it be because CPS and foster care are taking kids, and then after they get them, 6 months later, they can strike the record, get rid of them, sell them anywhere, nobody knows, rape them all day and night, and nobody's doing anything about it? But the whole statutory system, see, the entity that works with CPS to take kids in Arizona, the trafficking task force that has CPS come with and meet with them all the time, and they have these big meetings, they actually knew that Cindy McCain knew that Epstein was trafficking kids, and they did nothing, and she admitted it. So the entities that's supposed to be here to help the kids aren't helping the kids. The one who are taking the kids from the parents are taking it for unlawful reasons, trampling their rights. I showed y'all the scholarly journal article by Gupta called Filling the Process Donut Hole in Dependency. He literally explained that every single case is unlawful. is not following due process. So how in the world, y'all, are people mocking y'all and making y'all believe that they're just doing these great cases? But when we see it hits a real court, which most don't, most parents don't have any money, they're struggling, they're broken. This is what happens. Let's keep going.
What can somebody do to lose this? The people gave this to the litigants. What can they do to lose
And
it?
forget about all
Okay, guys, did you hear what this dude just said? This dude just said the people gave this to the legislature, meaning we gave authority and told y'all what the legislature can't do. How in the world can they lose it? Guys, God gave the people rights to have their kids. God people gave the people rights to have their kids. How can the people have a situation where their legislature writes statutes to take their kids when there's never been anything they've gotten prosecuted for before? No trial by jury ever happened to say that you killed somebody, hurt somebody, raped somebody, did anything. And they're taking 1,000 kids a month, literally for Cheerios on the floor at times and for dust on the ceiling fan. That's real cases. How is this possible? Y'all see what we dealing with now? This ain't what you think. See, some of y'all think y'all safe because they ain't mess with y'all kids yet, or you think everything is cool, you a good parent. They're not using the law. They'll use this dang jab issue and snatch your kids. They'll use not having a freaking vaccine passport, catch you at a place, arrest you, take your kids, you'll never see them again. If we keep allowing this bull, let us keep going.
Orders of the court.
Yeah,
What can somebody do to lose this? The people gave this to the litigants. What can
Now notice, guys, the people gave this to the litigants. Now notice, why in the world is it that this judge says the people gave it to the litigants, but the dumb already says, oh, the government wrote the Constitution and the government tells us what our rights are, and a judge can tell us what our rights are going to be? Nah, bruh. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Let's keep going.
they do to lose
And
it?
forget about all that for a second. That statute has to be read through the lens of the Constitution.
Oh, whoa. Does David Jose not tell y'all that the statutes are made in pursuance to the Constitution, meaning they must flow down from the authority of the Constitution? If you never gave the authority in the Constitution, you can't use anything statutory. So the middle judge, the outside judge, is saying, oh, the people gave authority to the legislature to permit parents to have certain types of rights in the statute. The middle judge says, man, screw all that. You can't even deal with a statute if you don't deal with the trust indenture called the Constitution. If it don't fit the Constitution first, I don't give a freak what the statute says. Any of them. This is what the judge is saying. Was David Jose lying to y'all? Was David Jose lying to y'all? Why in the world is it that nobody's showing this to y'all? The dang judges saying they sound almost like me. I just tell y'all more detail. He stopped his homie. He was like, dude, wait, shut up for a second. I don't give a freak about all that section 15. The dang Constitution is the daddy of the statute. The statute must be made in pursuance of it because the trust indenture is going to use statutory bylaws to greater explain what the trust gave an authority. If I didn't give you the authority to do the first thing, I don't give a freak about the mile-long crap you got down the line. Let's keep this simple. The guy in the middle, like, man, screw all this dang statute garbage, dude. That junk got to be made from the Constitution. So if the Constitution never said you could do it, let's just end the bull and talk about the dang Constitution, man. What the freak you talking about? Everything you make got to be made through the lens of the Constitution. If it does not comport to the Constitution, that junk is toilet paper, void. Throw the junk away. Why are we even talking about it? I don't need to waste my freaking time knowing every statute. Like the girl Ammon, who was in my groups every day. Oh, but the statute says, oh, David, I don't understand why you're saying this because the statute make it cleaner. Shut the freak up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're trying to challenge me at every chance you get. I show the truth Then you flip the question to another freaking statute. That's why I can't roll with people like that, because I'm showing you in the law what it says, and I'm teaching people who really care how to make it plain. And your anus is trying to play double sophisticated person. I don't give a freak about your knowledge. I don't give a freak about how much you know about law. I don't give a freak if you work for the government. I don't give a freak if you're an attorney. I don't give a freak if you're a president. I don't give a freak who you are. I'm sick of these people coming with this bull, not showing people the real freaking law and how the Constitution controls everything. I don't give a freak who you are. And even for my man who I like Trump. But if you're going to force people or trick people into these dumb vaccines, bro, I don't like what you're talking either. You're not going to play this game where you going to act like it's all good and there's no full disclosure. And I got people walking into the dang CVS's and all this stuff right now, getting documents showing that there's no full disclosure because it's not written. And it tells you that it's purposely freaking left blank. There is no full disclosure. So if people going to die on my watch, I'm going to send liability to everybody. As a matter of fact, Trump might want to stop saying this, y'all, because I love the people enough. I love Trump. He helped a lot of people come together. He helped Black people, white people, Hispanic people have better jobs. I love the dude, but I don't love him so much and I'm going to let the people die. Screw all that. Trump, I love you, but we're going to send notice to you at Mar-a-Lago too this week. So I'm not playing games. Ain't nobody going to just die on my watch because I don't give a freak or I'm callous or the system is too good or the federal legislature got stocks and some bull crap. I ain't got time for that. You ain't got to like me. I'm a nobody Negro from the ghetto. When I'm done helping y'all with all this stuff, if I don't get killed, if God don't allow me to get killed, I'll go back into my life and do what I do. Nobody will freaking give a freak about me, and I'll continue to live my life. I ain't kissing nobody's butt. I ain't bowing down to nobody, and you're not going to hurt the freaking people. And it is what it says is. I don't give a freak if you got an army. I'm going to destroy your junk by God in front of everybody as I promised on the first freaking day. I didn't know y'all was doing this much, but now that I know, I freaking want all the smoke y'all got from the Supreme Court on down. If y'all got some dumb junk y'all want to try to teach the people, I'll debate you any day of the week, live in front of the people, a ton of y'all against me by myself, all the attorneys, the whole Perkins Court. I don't give a freak who it is. We can freaking get that work because you're not going to hurt the people no more. I'm not playing. So shoot me from 100 miles away. I don't give a freak. I'm going to destroy, right? As a mighty threshing tool for God, mark my words, this junk is going to collapse. It's going to collapse. So let's keep playing. Let's keep going.
We're talking about interfering with the right to familial relations, the government coming in and taking custody away from parents. And it looks to me like there was little to no due process. And not only that, but in making the consideration, because of that constitutional requirement, protecting.
Constitutional requirement, you can't just be coming snatching people's kids off. What the freak? Who told us this? The judge has all power. Dude, stop lying. That's not a judge in a freaking administrative hearing. That's a hearing officer. Y'all in business together, you freaking clown. Artie, y'all working together, snatching people's kids, bro. The day of reckoning is coming with the law. We know what y'all been doing. We're going to come exercise the refund policy like we were in Walmart. We're taking all the kids back by law and y'all going to prison. And if you come out and tell the truth now, we'll give you some mercy. But I promise you, keep playing the freaking game like you don't know what you're doing and thinking that God ain't let me teach enough people across the nation to stop all this by law, not violence, by law. And we'll get the kids back by law. I told y'all what we would do in the beginning and you thought I was lying and now you've seen your whole system mess up. Now you're freaking in a position where y'all trying to give kids back and trying to be funny and act like you really want to deal with stuff. No, you dealing with stuff because we made you. That's what the freak is happening. We send y'all notice 2 weeks later, y'all getting kids back. Y'all freaking saying we ain't going to do this mandate. You're freaking punk cowards. That's what's happening. So let's freaking play ball. But notice this man, y'all said you can't take kids against the Constitution. That's what this man said. Let's keep watching.
A fundamental constitutional right. We require clear and convincing evidence before we take away someone's kids based on evidence.
Did y'all hear that? Before we take away people's kids. We don't say we got concerns that we need to remove them. We don't say we think that somebody said that they might be hurt. We didn't say, oh, well, it could be possible that something happened in the house that we don't like, and we're going to just say it happened, even though we didn't prove it. He said, before you take somebody's kids away, there needs to be clear and convincing evidence proving that something was wrong right now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Artie and Michael, y'all working together with the deep state, trying to block what the freak I'm teaching. You don't realize the people in the nation gonna run and dance when they see what I'm teaching right now? You don't realize your connection to the deep state gonna get found out, your emails gonna get read, all them trafficking, we gonna go back and get it all. You think you can stop God from sending a nobody, nothing from the ghetto who don't give a freak about his life? That you gonna stop me from exposing you and all of your friends to the world? You think your attorney's gonna hide this for you? Didn't you think the attorneys would be able to hide the law from me? And God keeps giving it to me day after day. Fresh new PCAPs people never seen before, all put together in a nice bow tie and a nice package, tearing y'all back out every single time we fire up this freaking camera and this microphone. Y'all getting heavy PCAPs every time. Every time. I told y'all what I was going to do in 2017 by God. And you seeing it in front of your face and you ain't realizing the freight train that's coming. That's cool though. You go catch them PCAPs. Let's keep going.
At the time of the hearing, if there even was one, whether it's termination or custody. So help me understand.
Well, I need to point out that there was no deprivation of the right to counsel. They did have counsel at the time of the hearing, and in fact,
you mean the previous hearing?
They had it at the juvenile. They had it at all stages of the hearing, and they had it at the juvenile review hearing.
Well, I thought counsel withdrew right before the hearing.
They withdrew,
and they asked for a continuance, and the judge said no, which meant the purpose of the continuance was to get a lawyer, and the judge acknowledged the motion but said no. Am I going to continue?
No, what happened was the appellants had gotten that notice. They had already taken steps to get another attorney, and they had already hired another attorney. That attorney could not be present at the time.
Right.
So they had were not deprived of their right to counsel.
Listen to this lying attorney, y'all. See, this is what you're dealing with the attorneys. The freaking new attorney wasn't freaking there, and you gonna say they weren't denied to an attorney, but the attorney couldn't be there. Y'all wouldn't stop the hearing for a week so the new attorney could come, and you're trying to take these people's kids and you make money off of it? Yes, no evidence of crime where you put them in prison. Then you got them arrested later. I'm gonna let y'all see that. And the judge got pissed about that. Like, you made these people freaking felons. You would be lucky. The judge said, when you find out what I would have done to you, you would have been lucky if you did that to me. See, the judge knows the law. The parents don't. See, all these people who did this stuff are felonious, people who did felonious crimes who need to be in prison for a long time. But the parents don't know, and the world don't know what's been happening. Let's keep going.
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. Did they have a lawyer there that day?
They did have a lawyer who was allowed to withdraw, and then they had...
Okay, so that means at the time of the hearing, when all this stuff happened, they didn't have a lawyer.
Wait, guys, notice how they deceive. He said, at the time of the hearing on that day, did they have a lawyer? They had a lawyer that was able to withdraw. Dumb. The lawyer who is allowed to withdraw is no longer counsel, can't give you advice, and is not there. Shut the freak up. See, guys, this is the game that they try to play. These attorneys for the state will sit right in your face and lie all freaking day. Right in the judge's face, lying with no integrity. And then y'all get information from people like Michael, who's dealing with attorneys who's working in this system and going after any parent around the nation that tells. So you will get a parent from Alabama, an attorney from Alabama. The attorney from Alabama will go and attack parents in Arizona, Michigan, Florida, and be working with other attorneys who have been dealing with some very shady actors. And what happens is they'll tell lies on the parents as if it's true or admit information right in your face. They don't even look at anything to say, we have anybody who swore that anything happened wrong. And they will speak it like it's the truth and tell people in the world, oh, David Jose is just mad because we took his kids. Okay, but David Jose is walking around the nation, right? So why didn't y'all put him in prison if he did all this crazy things? Oh, well, we didn't have any proof. Oh, okay, but you had documents that you said were testimony, but they were 5 different stories that all conflicted. And y'all hid some of the stories so you could take my kids. And then you hide 4 stories. I find another one. I bring it to you. You ask me where I got it from. So you don't give a freak about justice. You know that they're trafficking my kids. You know that there was all lies. I put it in the Supreme Court of Arizona. Yo anus sit there and hide stuff, act like nothing happened, cover for each other. And now I got to go around and try to prove that I didn't do anything wrong. Come on, man. Let's keep going.
Was there, right? You agree to that? Well, I mean, no.
Physically present.
Was there a lawyer at?
Now, see, guys, notice when I go after Artie and I say, Artie, am I one of the people? You are a citizen. Artie, am I one of the people? You are a citizen. Artie, am I one of the people? You are a citizen. See, they're trying to get this attorney to tell the truth. And they have to ask her 55 million ways, was the attorney there? Was the attorney there physically? Was the attorney there physically in his skin, in his body at the time of the hearing, at the exact time that the judge would have been talking? Was the attorney next to them? Right? Why the frick you got to go through all this?
Hearing, when all this stuff happened, they didn't have a lawyer that was there, right? You agree to that? Well, I mean, no.
Physically present.
Was there a lawyer at that hearing? The one withdrew. He's gone. Mm-hmm. Was he there?
He was not there, but
Okay.
This is the standard. Is these were not indigent counsel. Now, in
Notice this, y'all. He was not there. The standard is. So now she's gonna get. Remember when Artie tried to say, David, you're trying to make a loophole in the law. I'm like, no, dude. I'm using the Constitution. It is the highest law. I don't give a freak about your dumb statutes that you are saying is the law, because if it's not in line with the Constitution, it's not a law. So when you come to me and say, well, David, the statute is legit, right? And then he says, this is the standard we go by. I don't give a freak about your standard. That don't apply to me. What did y'all already swear to? That's all I need to know. Did y'all swear that the parents get a jury? Well, if it's 6 months, what the freak you talking about if you get 6 months in jail? The Constitution says a jury is inviolate, is guaranteed. You can't get rid of it. So what are you talking about, these standards or these ideas or these rules that y'all made for y'all little private system? Get the freak out of here, bruh. I ain't got time for that. You're faking. See, this is why I wanted y'all to see all these dumb things he would say, because I'm like, I'm going to let this dumb dude talk. I'm going to let him curse at me and laugh and mock me so I can get everybody around to hear what these dummies think. Because none of these guys can beat me if they talk to me. There's not a single attorney, government agent, any of them that will ever defeat me if we have a conversation about the law. They will never beat me. So what they have to do is hide it. So in their private courts, they can hide what they believe. So what I do, I'm like, hey, y'all, I dare this. Whoever attorney you want, 10 of them at the same time, come on my show and start fighting me about the law and watch what happens. And they don't want to come often. You get some super clowns who think they're going to come on and make it past one session. And then they don't like me no more. They don't want to talk about me. They say they're going to destroy me. They go, I'm going to nuke David Jose. Clemens was in a chat with freaking Lulu talking about something. I'm going to nuke David Jose, but it's not time. Bro, it ain't going to never be time. You're not coming at me. You're not doing it. You're soft. You're weak. You got your back blew out. You had 2 days to study to come get me. I wanted to get you the same night you open your mouth when Phil Golick brought you in to get yourself crucified with the law. Your punk behind ran for 2 days. 2 days. I wanted that smoke. You ran. Then you came into my video and got your back blew out in front of everybody. This is what will happen with all of the attorneys and all the judges in the country, guys. By God. Because they're fake as heck, right? Let's keep going.
Dependency proceedings, you have the right to counsel, but you also have the right to waive counsel. And what the juvenile court found here was that appellants had waived counsel.
This is the juvenile court that says it's me against you? This is the judge you're
Well, that
defending?
was taken out of context. The juvenile court obviously had no animosity. The animosity was one way because the juvenile court gave custody of the children back to appellants, even though they were open.
You know, I would have too. If I was juvenile court judge and then these people become felons, they're felons because of me, I'd get it back to them too and hope that's all that happened to me. But
now y'all hear that? See, these judges realize that these state actors are committing felonies. And he's like, man, y'all see, these people have the biggest gun right now. They got sheriff's officers and police officers that's so dumb that they don't realize what the Constitution says. So they'll just say, go pick up that kid. And then if you try to take the kid back, they'll make you a felon. So they've literally stolen the kids. The judges are saying you stole these kids' rights. All y'all should be in prison. He said, man, if it was me and I took this people's kids and got them to be made a felon. See, in Arizona, Arlena Willis, they gave her like 24 years and then gave her probation. They're trying to give Melissa Deagle 144 years or something like that. So they stole these people's kids. And then what they do is they try to go after you with criminal court, not understanding that in the law in a court of record, you cannot use the record from an administrative system in a court of record. So they're literally taking the record from these fake doctors, these fake people, and prosecuting parents for 100 years, 20 some years. And this is what they do when you speak up and try to get your kid back or you tell on them. This is the methods they use. So understand, when I come and tell y'all the truth, these people don't want me on the street. They are mad that I'm exposing them and other people. By God, I am safe. But other people I physically have been next to and know have been in prison with no due process, no ability to get bail, hundreds of $1,000 bails when pedos don't get bails that bad. And these people never did anything wrong with their kids and it never got proven. But when you tell, they try to prosecute you years later. I've been walking around here for years. They know I didn't do anything wrong and have 4 stories. I put it in the Supreme Court record to tell on them. The Supreme Court tried to cover it up, but you could go look at it right now and see 5 different stories. They put a wire on and found out there was different stories and hid it. And then I took their own documents and showed where they hid it. And I dare any government official to come out in Arizona and say, let's show this evidence of what happened in the hearing. We got federal agents who were inside of the courtroom. We got news people who were inside of the courtroom recording. I dare them to ever say, David Jose is lying about what he's saying. They would find that the Negro David Jose has had more PCAPs of what they have done than all of David Jose's videos combined of them breaking the law. Let them say David Jose can release the stuff, and I'll let you see judges breaking the law in a private capacity. And I tell them I want a court of record. They tell me no. The law says you can have a court of record. I'll show you where they say no. Multiple people around the country right now have the evidence. There's government officials who know right now what happened. And I would ask them to say, yeah, David, you could come out and show everything. Let's show all the records and show what really happened and what we really said to you in those rooms. I bet you the whole nation explodes. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of truth so y'all can see how stuff goes. I'm a nobody, nothing from the ghetto, but I want these PCAPs. Let's keep going.
that's just me.
What did they do to waive their counsel?
Well, they had the standard, and this is listed and outlined in an interest of AMA 270 GA App 769, where you have a non-indigent counsel. The standard that you have to look at is whether they acted with reasonable diligence in retaining counsel.
Did the judge find on the record that they had waived their counsel, or did he simply deny the continuance?
He found that he found facts on the record that showed that they waived counsel. He found that they had known about the hearing for over a month. and he asked them about their steps to secure counsel for that hearing. So
What did they say about the lawyer that they had talked to 4 days before the
they
hearing?
said they had hired an attorney in Fayetteville. That attorney had asked them to get a continuance, and that they had already hired him. That attorney was going.
Now, guys, come on. You hired an attorney 4 days before. He asked you to get a continuance because he can't get to you in time and know anything about your case. When you deal with the public defenders, they'll come to a hearing 2-3 minutes before the hearing, know nothing about you, and freaking walk in the courtroom with you the first day and never even get briefed. Really? Come on, man. Let's keep going.
To enter an entry of appearance. The juvenile court then said, okay, well, I will schedule another review hearing 1 week later.
But
1 week from the date that he takes the kids.
Yes,
Right.
which he did not. And I want to talk about the protections that parents get. All of the protections that appellants are mentioning, these are all protections that attach before a child is determined to be dependent. This case, the central problem with the appellant's appeal is these children had already been determined to be dependent.
Are you arguing then when DFACS comes in and says, well, here's our plan, and they haven't met it, then, and they contend, well, that's not true. We've met it, or they've misinterpreted it, that they don't have a right to confront the people that are saying that they haven't met their plan. They don't have a right to call witnesses. They don't have a right to require that the state prove those allegations, and they can test it by presenting their own testimony.
At that point, they have the right to appeal, because once a child is determined to be dependent, the juvenile court has broad discretion to act in the best interest of the children. That is what dependency proceedings are all about, and it states very
So
clearly.
why do we even have a hearing? Why doesn't DFACS just go to the judge, say, Judge, here's what we need you to do. We need you to sign.
Now, this is what they do in Arizona, y'all. They just go to the hearing officer and say, I want to take this person's kid, and they literally sign off on it and take the kid. Now y'all seeing the real world of how things really go.
Order, kind of like probation was doing in East Georgia, which the Supreme Court found to be unconstitutional, and go pick the kid up, and because you've already decided that they're deprived or dependent. But yeah, the procedures require a hearing, right?
The procedure is
Now notice, guys, he talks about the procedure requiring a hearing, which already said you only have to have a hearing. I'm like, hold on, bro, y'all not even proving anything. You could just go in a hearing and you could just say in an administrative court, I get to take your kid, and you didn't prove anything in a court of record by law with evidence that could be checked, and your ain't is gonna just say you could take my kids. Like, really, where did you get that power? I didn't see that power given out in the constitutions anywhere. Keep listening.
required back when the children are determined to be dependent.
So they didn't even need a hearing that day.
They don't need a hearing. They don't need notice. The juvenile court has the authority to act in the best interest of the children.
Based upon what, though? Because the juvenile court, in his infinite wisdom, can decide.
Guys, notice what happened. The juvenile court that is not a court of record, that doesn't have a jury, is not a real court. They're just making a decision that they can take your kids because this man who they're calling a judge, who's an administrative hearing officer, says so. And Artie was trying to say the judge gets to tell what happened. That's just the way it is. And you don't get to tell in your little house, David, what really is happening. David, you don't get to tell what your rights are. Only we get to tell you what the rights are. Nobody else can tell. So the CPS judge, with no jury, with nothing, with no due process of law, no hearing, no proving that the parents did wrong, no proving the kid was in danger, no evidence, no nothing, we can take your kids. And that's what they did to me and many others, based upon what he says. See, this judge is like, wait, so they're in that dang court just taking people's, y'all just snatching people's kids, bro, based on a whim? Like, oh, shucks. Here we go.
Now, this is in the best interest of the children, and I don't need to hear from the children or the parents or anybody else. As long as the government says it's okay, then by God, it's okay.
Yes, that's
now. Notice, y'all, they're not government. CPS is not government. They're a private entity, but he's trying to be graceful to the system. Let's keep listening.
what the juvenile court has the authority to do, and your remedy at that point is to appeal. It doesn't make the order void.
So what happens during the appeal? You just don't have your kids. You have to wait 8 months for this court to rule?
Yes, and it's the juvenile
With no
court.
due process.
Well, you do have due process. You have the right to appeal.
Let me tell you what went on here. This is my guess.
Now, guys, this is everything I have told y'all wrapped up into one case about how these clowns do. They take your car, they take your house, they take your dog, they take your grandma, and they say that you're going through hearings and you're dealing with judges and you're never really in front of a judge or a court. And then they tell you that they could take your stuff. You got a right to appeal, but it's really a sham appeal. It has no real due process, no real law, no real nothing. And this is what they've been doing all around the country for Title 42 money. And they haven't told you guys. Now, when I say a judge in a CPS court can't take your kids just because he wants to, the attorneys say David is just a disgruntled mad parent and he's lying. He's just trying to tell you stuff. There is no real common law. That junk is fake, man. That's the old stuff. No, man, that's not real. He could take your kid if he wants to because he's the judge. Bull crap. Now let's keep going.
A long time down in the bar fights that are Superior Court. I'm telling you this. So you're telling me that DFACS can come to you, take your children, get you in front of a juvenile court judge, and says, "Listen, sign the consent order, and we'll let your children stay with you." And you say, "Whatever it takes, because I just want to go home with my babies. That's all I want to do." Kind of like the mama said here, "Please don't take the children." And they say, "Fine, just do it. You can DFACS, you stay at home with your children, keep rocking along, keep doing drugs. Just get off of them when you can." And then eventually, when you cross the DFACS, they go to the judge by themselves, and then they take your children. And that's constitutional in this country?
Yes, well, they had counsel.
I live in the wrong country.
They had counsel at the
Guys, come on, y'all. This dude just said, unbelievable. I live in the wrong freaking country. No, guys, Artie and them were laughing at me. Dad versus CPS are laughing at me, but the judges sound like me, not like them. See, he said that's constitutional in this country. Dude is like, what the freak y'all doing down there in this old trash house? Y'all in these private hearings doing this stuff to people? I can't believe you. Are you telling me this is how it goes? And notice the way they train the dumb attorneys. Like I told Artie, I said, Artie, here's what they're going to train you and say. They're going to tell you that a court of record, you're going to agree with me, Artie, that a court of record is a court that keeps a record and a court that can find in a prison for contempt, right? He said, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, and you don't know the other three parts. See, I had to teach him that day. So these people running around taking kids and never thought anybody would figure out it was a scam because they're training the attorneys that is lawful. Then they get attorneys who are now CPS hearing officers as judges who will cover for them. And then they get people like Tucci, the federal judge, to get married to the judge in the Superior Court and send all the cases to him so he can seal all the cases and kick your cases out of court. Now, let's just be real. If you go to a court or a police office and you say, hey, that man right there punched me in the face. My face is bruised. Look, he'll arrest the man right there if you'll swear to it. So why when I say you stole my kids and the CPS worker did it, say her name, will they not go arrest her? Because the judges are working together in the system to make money. That's why. You don't need all this crazy, long freaking spelled out, let me explain how you have jurisdiction court. When your constitutional rights are violated, the courts are to act as interference to letting people have stealthy encroachments over your rights. Let me continue.
Time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
If that's true, then the entire statutory regime in Georgia is unconstitutional.
Yeah, well, at the time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
If that's true, then the entire statutory regime in Georgia is unconstitutional.
Yeah, well,
that's constitutional in this country?
Yes, well, they had counsel.
I live in the wrong country.
They had at the time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
If that's true, then the entire statutory regime in Georgia is unconstitutional.
That's constitutional in this country?
Yes, well, they had counsel.
I live in the wrong country.
They had at the time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
If that's true, then the entire statutory regime in Georgia is unconstitutional.
Yeah,
that's constitutional.
Okay, guys. So people try to clown me and get pissed because I say certain things. But this judge right here, Bird just in the house. Oh, shoot. Bird just hit the window. Go, man, bro, you go right into the window. Oh, go through the dang open part of the door. Hold on a second, y'all. This is crazy. Right here. Hey, come on. Let's go. This way. Come on, let's go. Fly back through here. So, guys, what you got to understand is This guy, he really had his ruffled feathers. This bird is running into the wall, trying to get out the window. He's missing. I had to open it up wider. Hopefully he'll fly out. But what you guys got to understand is this judge, now y'all heard me say that the Constitution dictates what the statutes can say. So if anything is wrong in the statute, the whole statutory system can be wrong. So this ain't David Jose saying it. This dude just said it. I just rewinded it like 3 times. This dude said, if this is true, and the attorney is saying it's true, the whole statutory system in Georgia is unconstitutional. Now, guys, does it sound like crazy Dave Jose, the sovereign citizen, that they try to call me? You must be a sovereign citizen, right? No, the judge himself in the court said, if you think this is right by law, the whole freaking statutory system in this state is garbage and unconstitutional. Did I make that up, y'all? Did y'all hear that? Let me play it again for y'all.
This country.
Yes, well, they had counsel.
I live in the wrong country.
They had at the time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
If that's true, then the
Let me say this too. He said, she said, when they stipulated to this dependency, see, they're getting you to sign documents and not giving you full disclosure that you're signing your life away to them. So then they can later on say, well, you signed my document so I can get to have your kids anytime I want to, and you're bound. Now what? But then they threaten you and say, if you don't sign it, we ain't gonna never let you see your kid again. The judge said it like, wait, so these people signed it because they just want to go home with their kid, and now you're gonna hold them to that and make it so that they can never have their kid or have justice? They stipulated to that when they signed our document. So you got some hidden stuff in your document that says that you can go against the Constitution. Really is what you're saying, government lawyer. And she believes it. She does believe it. She does believe it. She believes they get jurisdiction over your kid when they trick you into signing something. Y'all see this? They're not giving you full disclosure. We ain't gonna never let you see your kid again if you mess up, bro. We gonna jack you up. We gonna get rid of your rights. We can say that you ain't got to come to the hearing. We can just take your kids. This is bull crap. Let's listen.
Constitutional in this country.
Yes, well, they had counsel.
I live in the wrong country.
They had at the time they stipulated to the dependency, they were represented.
if that's true, then the entire statutory regime in Georgia is unconstitutional.
Yeah, well,
I'm just telling you, because if that is honestly the state's position, then you're going to see something like the parole case. That's just unbelievable to me that that's the state's position.
Yeah, that is in fact what the juvenile code provides.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, guys, I'm just little Dave Jose. I try to bring PCAPs every once in a while. Some of y'all should go around and let the world know what I just showed y'all just now. But guys, you got to understand this. So the judges are saying that the whole system is unconstitutional. You can't do that to people. The people are the ones who created the Constitution. How the freak you attacking them? This is wrong. Y'all realize that all these people, so these 3 judges just witnessed an attorney tell that they're trampling people's rights, making them felons off of some bull crap, and these people ain't all in prison? Y'all see what the problem is here? All these good judges and good attorneys, they're telling the truth about what's wrong. But why isn't this black lady right here and all the CPS workers who took the kids and the juvenile court judge and everybody in prison right now today? Right now today. The so-called contract they're stipulating to is unconstitutional in itself, and they're allowed to pass this out. And nobody's telling, hey, this is a private entity that's making money off of all the kids they take. It's a conflict of interest. The contract is null and void up front because they're making money, and they're also the same ones who serve the families, but they're also putting the families in a situation where they're tricking them into waiving their rights. And he said the whole thing is unconstitutional. Did y'all not catch this? So guys, when David Jose tells y'all stuff, am I making this stuff up, guys? Has anybody ever come to you and shown y'all stuff like this? Where are all the brilliant attorneys who will tell y'all about this case? I ain't even show y'all the right to lie case yet. Where are all the attorneys who should be standing up against this? See, this is why the people have to come together and stop these attorneys. This is why they're trying to do all the COVID stuff. They're trying to take your kids so they can rape them. They literally want to put your kids into trafficking. They're literally not following the law. Guys, when this one case happened, every single court in America should have stood up and shut this down immediately. Why is it buried? Why didn't you guys bring me this case? I'm just showing y'all truth. I'm not the one. Yeah, we need to abolish. I'm not the one who's telling y'all what's happening. These people are. It's not me. Let's keep going.
But I also want to mention before you even get to the merits of this case is moot. They have their children back. They've already pled guilty to the criminal charges against them.
Wait, we gave your kids back and we pled guilty when you're holding our kids over our heads. So I guess it's okay. Well, if you're guilty for doing all this stuff to your kids, why would you have to plead guilty? Y'all should just arrest them, prosecute them, throw them under the jail and keep the kids. Why would you give the kids back if they really hurt their kids? You never proved that they did some wrong. You got them to become felons by accepting your garbage. And you say this whole case is moot because they got their kids back. So you could take somebody's kids for over a year, make tons of money per kid, lie on people, cheat them, defraud them of fundamental due process that you swore you would take care of in the Constitution. You making bread, you making money while you're there right now, but you say it's moot because they got their kids back. But you didn't do them right in the first place. Dirty. Let's keep going.
This is not an issue of significant public concern, and it's not capable of repetition.
Guys, it's not an issue of significant public concern. See, they don't want you to talk about what they're doing in the public. They want to hide it. Y'all see this? They want to hide what they've been doing to everybody because their system would completely fall apart and die if people did what David Jose does. So this dumb attorney says, look, they got their kids back. Everything is good. You know, let bygones be bygones. They missed a whole year or whatever of their kids' life. They became felons. But, you know, everything's good now. Everything is good now. Her voice all rattly. Everything is good now. This is a significant public concern. We don't need to just go out in the light of day. Let's just cover it up. Y'all snatching people's kids against the constitutional trust indenture that you swore to protect and everybody else around you, and y'all making money off of it, and y'all making people felons when they try to expose y'all, but you got the nerve to say this ain't a public concern, we need to cover this up? Oh, okay, let's see.
Review.
I got to tell you, I'm in the public and I'm concerned because if you can take my children like this, then that's not going to work for me. That's just not going to work for me. You can't take my children like this. And I cannot believe that we're going to say that you have a lawyer, even if they're not present, you got a lawyer, and that's good enough for due process to lose your children. I mean, which is, as the United States Supreme Court, which is civilization teaches us that is the most important thing that we could
explain to me how the statement where the judge
y'all.
says
Watch your
it's
thumbs
me
up.
against
it's gonna get
you.
ugly.
Explain to me how that was taken out of context, because I'm curious how that was taken out of context.
Context was it had been a year since the child had called police and gotten defects.
Now notice, y'all, they make money. At a year, they make money off of ASFA funds, and that's how they get paid. So they have to stretch it out that far. They don't mind giving the kids back after that. But let's keep going.
This court had tried to work with the family, tried to keep them together, and said, hey, what we need you to do is go and address your drug addictions.
Now, guys, notice what they're doing is they're using people's kids as pawns to get that 1 year time so they can get their ASFA money. And then where they don't want the drug babies because they say they were on drugs, they give the kids back. And then, hey, we're going to let bygones be bygones. We got our money. You can have the kids back. We don't care what the freak you do. You're supposedly a drug addict. So here, take your kid back. Usually the adoptable kids, they just adopt them out because they're not so damaged because of the drug families having issues. The kids ain't really stable. So they don't want those. They want the kids that are pretty and highly adoptable, young and, attractive to the other families. And then that's the ones they want to sell. So pay attention, y'all.
The children have been harmed, and we're trying to keep the kids safe. What you need to do is go and do that. You need to stop using drugs, and you need to go and get treatment. By the time the judge had gotten to that point where he made that statement, they had done nothing. They had defied the court.
So that justifies a judge in open court telling the people appearing before.
Now, guys, notice this ain't open court. It's a legislative tribunal. So he's trying to respect that system, but he knows dang well this ain't no real court, because he's going to bring up something that's a common law idea of a kid being part and parcel to a parent. Let's listen.
Him. He's supposed to be fair and impartial. He can look at them.
Now, guys, notice that I told the gentleman who did not know, Artie, that a court of record has a tribunal that's independent of the magistrate. That's what fair and impartial means. He's not with the entity bringing the stuff, the case against the people. So your anus can't be making accusations about parents and acting like the parents did wrong and you're attacking them. That's part of the common law that they're trying to hide. So he's going to start teaching a little bit. Let's listen.
Because they didn't comply with his wishes or the government's plan, he can look at them in open court and say, it's me against you. I'm now putting myself in an advocacy position. The state thinks that's okay? The state thinks that's appropriate judicial behavior?
I do not agree with your characterization of what the juvenile court
Well,
said.
tell me what did he or did he not say, it's me against you?
He said that, but it was out of context. This was the context of a juvenile court judge that is working hard to give these parents a chance.
That just sounds to me like an excuse for him.
Working hard to give these parents a chance to have their kids that God gave them a chance to have their kids already. So he has to work hard to give you a chance to have your kids that belong to you. And if you don't do what he says, he gets to threaten you, talk bad about you, tell cops to put you under arrest, throw you down on the ground and all this stuff, embarrass you. Yeah, you get to do whatever you want to do. And we just gonna say the judges are perfect. She said they did nothing wrong. Oh, so he gets to say that. So he as a person who is acting like he's a judge gets to say, you don't get to express what you believe. You don't get to say what you think, nothing. Okay, William Crandall, we ain't worried about you. I know you clowning or whatever, but why would you even come here and stay here this long? Just go. No big deal. All right, listen, y'all.
I'm frustrated. What if right now during this argument I say, you know what, and you may feel this way, it's me against you. How's that going to make you feel when you go back downstairs? You're not going to feel like you're going to get a fair shake up here. Judges can't say things like that. I mean, don't you agree with that?
Yes, but you look at what the juvenile court did, and they acted appropriately. Once the appellants went to substance abuse treatment and stopped using drugs, he gave the...
Now, guys, I don't know if they use drugs or not, but they actually get paid if you go to substance abuse treatment. So when they have you do the services, they can say you're a crack addict. You might be, you might not be, but there's tons. There was a lady who was arrested in recent history for faking drug cases against parents in CPS courts. There was a CPS judge that just went to jail for selling kids porn that came from his work. And nobody says, well, who else was helping him with this? How was he getting access to all the kids? Who left a kid by themselves with that dude for him to take pictures of them naked? Y'all not seeing this as a problem? Judges don't usually get access to kids alone. So how is this happening? Let's go.
Children back. So whatever animosity, it did not affect his final ruling.
Does it bother you that he gave the children back on January of 2017? Is that right? January 20th?
No, he gave the children back in October, months before.
When was the order signed?
The order was actually signed later, but he...
Yeah, how much later? That's what I'm getting at. Like January, right?
Not immediately, but the children were given back October 19th, 2016, and then the order was actually entered, written order January 9th.
Right, January 9th, 2017, non-proton to October the 19th. Doesn't that concern you? I mean, are you telling me that he had the children or didn't have the children then?
They did have the children October 19th, 2016. That's when the ruling went into effect. That's what's common in juvenile cases, is that the rulings will go into effect and the written orders. That's common.
Right, but if DFACS had changed their minds again, they could have gone back to the judge and said, hey, we just don't think this is going to work out again. So We know you gave the children back, take them back away because you never signed the order.
Well,
They
at
could do
that point, it would be a new dependency hearing, and then you'd have to go through the proceedings. They would need counsel, they would need hearings, they would need all the testimony.
Why doesn't the judge just rely upon the amorphous, I amend my earlier order at any time for any reason because I feel like I can?
Because the appellants would have gotten their children back at that time. And
I know, but he could amend the order.
No, you wouldn't have jurisdiction over the children at that point.
Why? There's no order.
Because there would be no dependency, and the appellants would have custody at
But
that point.
under the Civil Practice Act, the order doesn't count until you file it.
Well, if they
It
had
can't be
already,
held in contempt unless there's a written order.
I'm
Judge Miller
not sure
teaches
I'm
us
following,
that.
because if the court has given custody back to the appellants and said there's no more dependency here, the court can't act unless there's another finding of dependency, another dependency petition.
Okay. All right.
So I think that the crux of the matter here is there was a finding of dependency. Appellants do not challenge the fact that the children were dependent. Since the children were dependent, the juvenile court had the authority to do what it did in this case. That doesn't, even though your honors obviously don't agree with what the juvenile court did, that doesn't make their order void.
Do you agree that our juvenile code has to be viewed through the lens of the Constitution?
Yes.
Okay.
And the children also have constitutional rights. And the juvenile code also
Historically,
specifically
that's
states,
not accurate. Historically, that's...
And they are also the children.
Y'all remember I told y'all under the common law, the kids are part and parcel to the parents, and that the whole CPS system of adoption is against the common law, is no historical basis for it. So right here, when he says, do you believe that parents have rights over their children? She says, well, the children also have rights. He's like, no, historically, you're wrong. The children are part and parcel to the parents. See, they don't know, they don't get taught the law. So it takes for the older, higher level judges to be like, where the freak you get this from? That's not anywhere in the law. You realize that's wrong, right? He's asking her dumb anus questions, and they're not training them on purpose, y'all. That's what's really happening. Let's listen.
Also have constitutional rights. And the
juvenile code has to be viewed through the lens of the Constitution?
Yes.
Okay.
And the children also have constitutional rights. And the juvenile code also
Historically,
specifically
that's
states,
not accurate. Historically, that's not accurate.
that
I'm
children
not
don't
sure.
have constitutional rights.
Children, as part of parental rights, are part and parcel of their parents.
Well, the juvenile code states that the children are a party to the proceedings.
Now, notice, guys, how are children going to be parties to a proceeding when they're kids and they belong to their parents? So they use the kids against the parents to say you're running a case against each other, because the kids have some rights that they have to take over and control. But what you have to understand, guys, is under the common law, the kids belong to the parents, not the state. So when the state wants to say we have some interest in your private life to take your kids, and they're making money off of them, she's trying to put out the fact that the code says she can overrun the person's rights because the code says so, but the code is less than the Constitution. This is why when clowns in my group come in and say, oh, what David, the code says, and the attorneys come and say, the code says, the code is what we need to be looking at. Why? Because if the things are proven from the Constitution, why the freak do I need to go to the low level code to find permission? Juvenile code that does not comport with the Constitution is a fraud, period. It does not exist. It's null and void. So all this running around with the code says, I don't give a freak what the code says. The code ain't for the people. And this proves to y'all the code ain't for the people. The Constitution has protected rights of the people that you can't trample by any code. You cannot, this is what I showed you on page 491 of the Arizona, Miranda versus Arizona case, where rights secured by the Constitution are involved. There can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. What that means is if the Constitution says I have a right to have my kids, no statute you write as a legislature can say you can't, period. See how easy that is? Watch this. Let's listen.
and they have all the rights of the parents.
Who represented the children?
They had an attorney, but they did
Was
not
the-
file. They did not file any motions in this case.
Was that lawyer present that day that the court changed its mind and DFACS told him to take the kid away?
The attorney was present. It was listed on the transcript. Did not make any motions or filings.
Who
But they
appointed
are
the lawyer?
required to be represented at all stages of the
Who appointed the lawyer for the children?
the juvenile court, in all probability.
All right.
All right.
Thank
So y'all notice what just happened? An attorney that the juvenile courts use that have a judge that said, I'm against you, is now acting as the one who is appointing an attorney over the kids. They're all working together. They deal with each other. How does the court say, I'm against you, working with CPS, and then at the same time give you an attorney and say this attorney is going to represent your interests? Crazy. Crazy stuff, y'all. Crazy.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd just like to address some of the issues brought up by the state in this case. Parents did not consent to finding of dependency in October, November, December, or January of 2016. It was back in September that they had filed that they had consented to dependency back then in much the same fashion as you outlined, where they were told they could keep their children, just sign here and everything will be okay. And so they consented that children were dependent,
They
and they went
tricked
on
them.
their merry way. In this case, Your Honor, the code is very clear, and in 1511 19A, they talk about the rights of parties to proceedings, and general provisions are applicable to all proceedings. They don't have just a right to a lawyer at the dependency hearing. They have a right to a lawyer every time the court convenes and discusses anything having to do with their case.
Well, the state conceded that they said you waived it.
There's absolutely not a scintilla of evidence that we waived. My clients were in distress. They were saying, please don't take the children away. They never waived. They were never asked if they were waived.
What were the reasons? Well, okay, but I guess what the judge is doing is he's saying that by their actions they waived it. So what did he give as the reason that they waived it? Did he give a reason? Is
No,
counsel
he
correct?
didn't even say they waived the hearing in the order. He just
Did he say anything verbally at the
It's me
hearing?
against you.
Okay.
Well, that's at the that's at the null and void hearing a year later. And that's also when the judge explained that the reason he took the children away a year earlier was because he didn't trust them. And I have looked in the code, and trust isn't in the text. I keep looking for it. I don't see it.
Guys, does that not sound like David Jose? I'm looking all the way through your trust indenture and I ain't find nothing that said you could take the kids because you got concerns. So where in the Constitution does it say government workers can go around taking people's kids because they're concerned? Where does it say that? And I still haven't found it. Nobody will come out and talk about that. And this judge is making a joke. He's like, where in the Constitution or the statute does it say you could just snatch somebody's kid up because you don't trust them? Who the freak are you, not living with them, to be talking about you trust them or not? Who are you? Who made you God? You make money on the cases, but who made you God to tell if you trust a parent or not? Do y'all see what's going on here? Wow.
Trust somebody or not doesn't seem to be a valid legal basis to take someone's children.
And Your Honor is completely right.
But he trusted them enough to let them live with him.
Excuse me?
He trusted them enough to let the children live in this deprived, dependent state for 6 months.
That's correct.
What was the reason that was just going to be reflected in the record that the attorney withdrew, that did withdraw?
Because it's not going to be reflected in the record because she didn't testify.
So the judge wouldn't have acknowledged. In other words, she didn't provide an affidavit that said I'm not being paid. She just withdrew.
No, she withdrew, saying in her affidavit the claim was the clients are not doing what I'm telling them to do.
But that's
There's also in the briefs, there's also a reference that she couldn't ethically represent both people,
both parents.
both parents. That's in the brief.
And did the judge at the hearing give a reason for his refusal to continue?
Wait, you guys got there's situations where attorneys or judges have to recuse themselves? Oh, wow. Deep.
I mean, I know counsel for the state has argued that, well, there was another review a week later. But at the time that he went forward with the hearing without counsel for your clients, did he give a reason why he wouldn't continue the hearing?
No, just in his written order, he did say that he did not feel that he did not feel that they had acted properly in not appealing their decision right then and there.
Appealing the decision.
They waived it.
I'm sorry.
I said he justifies this by saying, by their actions, exactly like the state said, by their actions, they waived it.
They waived it generally, he said, but didn't give. They did X, Y, and Z, or didn't do X, Y, and Z.
No.
And that was in the order that he signed months later.
That's correct.
It wasn't said that day.
It wasn't said that day.
Was there a hearing held a week later?
No, there wasn't, because my clients chose their children over a null and void.
You're talking
order
back in
and left.
September. I'm talking about when he took the children into
No, they left to Alabama.
They
That's
left
why
to
they
Alabama.
felt
They
it, so.
took their children and left actually to New Orleans. And
Now let me let y'all see. See, there's a lot of people in the CPS world who can't deal with the pain of what happens with their kids. So sometimes they get their kids, they literally jump in the car, get a whole bunch of gas, whole bunch of money together and say, I'm out of here. We're gone. And then they come back after you and make you a felon for taking your kids away from them. But they unlawfully took your kids in the first place. So now if you leave with your kids, they want to make you a felon. Are y'all seeing this? They'll literally call Amber Alert and say, hey, they got their kids, go get them. The cops don't know that they trafficked your kids in the first place and took them without a warrant or without right or without proof. So then you leave with your kid and you go to jail. So then they say, well, listen, if you want your kids back, just be a felon, plea out to be a felon. We'll give your kids back. We'll leave it alone. This way you can't sue us later. We can't sue you later. We all good. But we made all this Title 42 money. So the Bible lets you know that somebody can't make merchandise off a child. It's called theft in Deuteronomy 24:7. So what they'll do is they'll steal the children, make money off of them. If the parents get upset and want their children back and try to leave. See, this is why David Jose doesn't listen to the crazy people who like, just go take your kid and run. Listen, you can't go take your kid and run. You have to stand up and fight the devil face to face. You have to gain all the knowledge you have to destroy the devil and teach everybody around so they stand in truth with you. Because what happens is they will do this to everybody around the nation. And if you can't suffer and sit down and deal with the pain and agony and still be able to function and fight, you're not going to win this fight. Because all they're going to do is prosecute you for taking your kids back. That's all they're going to do. Arlena Willis tried to take her kid from a meeting and they arrested her the next day. They trespassed her and she tried to blame it like it was something we did. No, I told her, don't you ever in your life act out of control, do anything crazy, ever. And she goes and runs and tries to steal her kid. And then she tries to go in front of everybody and say, well, it didn't work because David strayed or I used one of David Jose's affidavit. Don't lie. You tried to go take your kid back. And I ain't mad at you for it. You know, it's your kid. But you got to realize when people are trying to destroy your good name, when they got all the cops with them and they're trafficking and nobody knows what's happening, you have to use some tact. You have to use some wisdom. You have to spend the time to study and understand. It's going to hurt you. You're going to have some nights where you're going to cry out to God and miss your kids and it's going to hurt you bad. I understand. But if you trust in God and you do what God says, God is going to give you a peace that passes all understanding. He's going to use you for the time he needs to use you. And he's going to return the kids like he showed you in Isaiah 49. So I know that's my role. So God says in verse 25, I'm going to return your children and he's going to get all those who went against you and hurt you. I'm not worried. I realize I got a battle I got to fight and I got to stand up for the people where other parents might not have been able to do this. A lot of the parents who had situations haven't had people in the ghetto threatening to kill you and you have to walk around like that. So when a deep stater comes around as an attorney from another state bringing some clowns threatening to shoot you up, they get scared. When they say, if you do this, we're going to hurt your kids, or take pictures at your house of your kids and send it to you in the mail. When that type of stuff happens, most parents ain't going to be able to handle that. So I understand God raised me up for a time such as this. He raised me up to suffer, to learn. And I'm not mad at him. I'm thankful, because I'm thankful that God can use me for something with my old self. I didn't make it to the NFL, so at least he gave me something to do big. Right? So my little guys will come back and it's going to be on. Let's keep watching though.
They were good parents, and even taking parents away from their children, or let's look at it from the children's perspective. What kind of trauma is this to be torn away on one moment's notice from your parents, who are not abusive parents to them, who are not endangering them in any way? As a matter of fact, the children's attorney stated to the court that he had no safety concerns with the children being returned to the home.
Have you ever had an opportunity to go talk to a juvenile court judge by yourself with the school's teachers and tell them that how good these children are doing, and how wonderful they are, and get up some affidavits and stuff from maybe some
Uh-oh, y'all. See, he's giving remedy. Did y'all know when you give affidavits to the court is putting the court on notice? So they shouldn't be doing you wrong when you have affidavits that you're sending to them. But notice they're going ex parte without you to make orders, so-called in the executive branch, to steal your kids. But then you can't do it. It's impartial. It's not fair. I mean, it's partial and not fair. So what we got to understand, he's telling what affidavits do. Hey, if I could get affidavits from everybody showing that I'm a good parent and this is wrong, they're going to take that weight and say, wait, oh, shucks, like we might have a bad case. Or if you show that they're breaking the law and stealing the kids, if you use affidavits, the judges are going to say, holy crap, I'm breaking the law. But this is what they don't want y'all to know. This is why they're mad at me. Let's keep going.
pastors and some teachers, etc., and just go tell the judge.
Oh, I actually got the preacher to do an affidavit and give his testimony about what he saw, and a doctor in the church. Do you know that the caseworker hid the stuff from the juvenile court hearing officer? Didn't turn it in. I got PCAPs on that too. Let's keep going.
And don't tell the defects about it. Don't tell the state and the judge do that for you.
Not at all, Your Honor.
I doubt
Never.
that happens. It never seems to work in favor of the people. It goes in favor of the government, is what I see.
That's true. It's, you know, I'm here to help. I'm from the government. That's what this boils down to is a case where the government took over and denied them the rights that they are guaranteed under the Constitution. More importantly, Georgia, the statutes provide for it. I see.
She says, more importantly, Georgia. No, more importantly, the Constitution. Screw Georgia statute. The Constitution, which is the highest, says it. So let's stop freaking playing these games, right? You can't do this, government workers. You're just people who are serving us. You don't have authority over us. Stop the bull. And the judges are proving it.
My time is up. I thank you, Your Honor, for your attention and your question. I have 1 minute. I just would ask the court to find that, in fact, the court did in fact enter a null and void order, and as in all null and void orders, they don't have to be obeyed. My clients did nothing wrong in taking their children, yet they're saddled with a felony conviction, each one of them.
Okay.
And the case is not moot, Your Honor. The case was not. You have to have final orders in order to have mootness. There were no final orders in this case.
They never make final orders.
More importantly, the juvenile case resolved itself before the criminal case. So how could they be stopped from?
We'll deal with the motion to dismiss in the order.
Okay.
We'll deal
Thank
with
you.
that.
I want to thank both counsel for the excellent presentation today.
Guys, see what's going to happen, I believe, is they're going to remove those felonies because they realize the state broke the law. But how many parents, guys, around the country, they're using our courts as the people to give mothers and fathers felonies? Arlena, me and her had some spats, you know. I feel bad about how they did her wrong. I know that she can't control herself, but she's a woman. And women have bonds with their children that's different than dads. Dads are the ones who usually they send off to war to go fight for 2, 3, 4 years while the woman is at home nurturing the child. So you can't expect for a woman like Arlena, who's been with her kid forever and he got autism, to be okay when you snatch her kid from her. So I believe that they need to remove these charges off of Arlena. We don't deal with each other like that. We don't talk like that. But I believe that they need to remove those charges away from her, that conviction. I believe they need to go back to the guy who they gave 3 years, grandpa. They need to remove it from him. They need to deal with Melissa Deagle right now. Drop this stupid case they got against her where they made all this money from trafficking her kids. We know now that it's trafficking, y'all. The people know. Now, I haven't made my case the number one most important thing because I'm not the most important. The Bible tells you the first will be last and the last will be first. So I need to serve first and make sure everybody gets their babies back, not mine first. I'm not more important than y'all. I'm not more important than Arlena. I'm not more important than Melissa. All these people had their kids taken or ran through hell. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. I could take a lot of pain. I'm good at it. But it is not fair for these little bitty women and these men who have not been prepared by God to deal with stuff like this, to fight through a battle like this. I'm thankful to God that he gives me something to do to serve him. He is an amazing and wonderful God. He's always been good to me. He's given me an abundance. He's loved me. He's cared for me. He's preserved me when these people tried to kill me on multiple occasions. When the hitman called me and told me that they had a hit out on me and they had people ready to kill me in Arizona, he told me, and I was able to see it. So God has opened the doors. But I wanted to let you guys see real life, what's going on, even in Artie's state. And I got more PCAPs from the actual clerk's version of the court case that I could show, but I'm not going to do it today. I want you guys to know this is why I stand and fight so hard. This is why I don't sleep, because I'm worried about, not worried, I'm concerned about everybody else's babies and kids. I know what it feels like to suffer. I don't want y'all to go through this. My enemies like Michael, they'll laugh at me and say, David didn't get his kids back. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, David got his kids back. Y'all wouldn't know anything about election integrity and getting an audit. Y'all wouldn't have any business to say. Kids would be crying all over the place and y'all be getting forced injections. That's literally what would happen, because I wouldn't have been fighting this fight. I'd have been somewhere playing with my kids like I used to. But God is good because he'll take those who belong to him. When God tells you to whom much is given, much is required. God has given me businesses, life. He gave me kids when I thought I would never have none. He's given me peace. He's given me pretty much everything I can imagine. To whom much is given, much is required. I'm okay with them having, God using my kids and the fight to educate everybody else to save the nation. I'm cool with it. And God is a perfect God, mighty God with perfect timing. And everything that I have learned, it is because of him. It ain't because of me. I'm a nothing, nobody Negro from the ghetto. So when y'all see me get down with these so-called brilliant attorneys, these powerful people, and God lets me blow their back out, you should stop and say, God is an amazing God, because he's telling us he got a degree in psychology. Ain't no way he should be finding all this stuff and talking about all this stuff. Ain't no way he should be able to do this. It ain't no way that he could prove that they're committing fraud and treason and trafficking people's kids. There's no way. So I want to leave you guys with that. If you have enjoyed this video, if it is fire and smoke to you, please drop me some love in the comments. Let me know if it was good. If you think it sucked, let me know if you think it sucked, but I know my food is good, right? But give me some feedback. Share this with everybody, y'all. Everybody, if you want to get your election situation back under control, we're working on that. We got some big fire coming, bigger than you ever seen in your life, bigger than Maricopa, bigger. If you guys want to, continue to learn, you could go to restoremyrepublic.com. If you guys want affidavit classes, now that you see the judges in the dang court is telling you that affidavits could help you. Everybody has to have notice. If you want affidavits class, you can have whole patriot groups, $200 a class, up to 6 patriots, three whole families, or a whole homeschool class and their parents can watch for the kids to be able to learn. The affidavit mamas and others asked me to do that in order to help people to be able to learn in a more private setting without watching thousands of hours worth of video that I got out there. Anybody who's trying to deal with stuff in business and get your life back together because of this issue where they're shutting down businesses and all, I am teaching people how to get into business with real estate, without a license, using the law to be able to make powerful, crazy, good wealth that you could use to take care of your family. Now, I wanted to work on my engine today. Probably not gonna be able to do it, but I enjoy seeing you guys get to see the PCAPs and the smoke. Y'all let me know if this was good PCAPs, because I don't always know. Sometimes I got so much more than this, but I try to give y'all more and more good stuff every time I see you. I try not to leave y'all hanging. I was up at 4 this morning, 3 this morning, 12 at night. I started lifting weights. I did a couple of sets of curls and triceps. I can do CDs or DVDs, possibly. I'll have to pay somebody to do it, or I can do thumb drives. I can put it on a thumb drive and then send it to you. But God is doing amazing things. I hope you guys give God the praise and glory, not me. I'm nothing and I'm nobody. We're going to teach these government officials around the nation what it is to have some act right. And we're winning. We're winning. They're going to be shook when they find out what the freak came out today. They're not going to like this at all, but it's going to be good. Right? So please, y'all, if y'all love me, which I know a lot of people don't, but if y'all did, please share this all over the place. Get it out there like crazy. Talk to people about it, because this is what brings the victory to everybody in the nation and stops this corruption. They've been stealing everybody's kids, acting like they want to help them and doing people wrong. And I wish for everybody to have their kids back. I didn't put myself first. I didn't just fight for my case and try to do everything for myself. I put everybody else's stuff first. I taught people thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. I studied the Bible and the law, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. I never left y'all hanging. So I'm asking you guys to give this to everybody. You guys say I need a rest. What's really happening is y'all don't really see this, but when I do a long video like this and I got so much heart and soul to it, adrenaline gets sucked out of you. And not only does adrenaline get stuck, pulled out of you, but your body burns a ton of energy, and your spiritual energy gets drained because you care about the people so much. And I don't take this junk like a joke. Like I don't, it's funny. I watched that Michael guy talking about Kirk, hating on him. And he said, man, just send me over your documents and I'll just take them and I'll look over them and I'll just submit them into cases. We'll see what works. He's like, dude, you got to learn this stuff and study it. What the freak you mean? He's like, oh man, I don't have to learn all this stuff, man. I could just throw it in. I ain't got time to watch your 5-hour videos. The dude is so lazy. He's telling people he wants them to help. He wants to help them with kids and he's getting money from these people. But the dude don't even put in work. He don't put in work. He can't show you one video where he's breaking down real law or PCAPs to you. So I hope you guys are serious. I hope you guys are excited and happy. I thank you guys for coming on for another long freaking video. It's been 3 hours and 44 minutes, maybe 56 minutes. But I hope you guys been able to see the truth. You understand it. Please share with everybody. Let everybody know what's going on. You can share it on your own platforms. You can download it and use it. Make sure you are recorded and keep it, because woo, the deep state might want that junk off the record for real. All right. But I will catch you guys later. Y'all stay out of trouble. Y'all be cool. I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to say